Would you have freedom from wage slavery and join in the grand industrial band? Would you from misery and hunger be free and come do your share like a man?
There is power in the band of working men when they stand hand in hand. That's the power that must rule in every land, one industrial union grand.
Would you have sharings the gold in the sky and live in a shack away in the back? Would you have wings up in heaven to fly and starve here with rags on your back?
There is power in the band of working men when they stand hand in hand. That's the power that must rule in every land, one industrial union land.
If you've had enough of the blood of the lamb, then join in the grand industrial band. If for a change you would have eggs and ham, come do your share like a man.
There is power in the band of working men when they stand hand in hand. That's the power that must rule in every land, one industrial union band.
Well, if you like sluggers to beat off your head, then don't organize or unions despise. If you are nothing before you are dead, shake hands with your boss and the wise.
There is power in the band of working men when they stand hand in hand. That's the power that must rule in every land, one industrial union band.
Oh, come, O ye workers from every land, join in the grand industrial band. Then we our share of this earth shall demand. Come do your part like a man.
There is power in the band of working men when they stand hand in hand. That's the power that must rule in every land, one industrial union band.
Would you take contently what's put in your hand, less than you burn with one leg to stand? Would you believe what they tell you to be, or with brothers go out and see?
There is power in the band of working men when they stand hand in hand. That's the power that must rule every land, one industrial union band. There is power in this band of working men when they stand hand in hand. That's the power that must rule in every land, one industrial union band, one industrial union band, one industrial union band.
You noble diggers all, stand up now, stand up now. You noble diggers all, stand up now. The wasteland to maintain, see cavaliers by name. Your digging does maintain, and persons all defame. Stand up now, stand up now. The cavaliers are foes, stand up now, stand up now. The cavaliers are foes, stand up now. The cavaliers are foes, themselves they do disclose, by verses not in prose, to police the singing boys. Stand up now, diggers all. The club is all their law. Stand up now, stand up now. The club is all their law. Stand up now. The club is all their law, to keep poor men in awe. But they no vision saw to maintain such a law. Stand up now, diggers all. The gentry are all round. Stand up now, stand up now. The gentry are all round. Stand up now. The gentry are all round, on each side they are found, their wisdom so profound, to cheat us of our ground. Stand up now, stand up now. Your houses they pull down. Stand up now, stand up now. Your houses they pull down. Stand up now. Your houses they pull down to fright your men in town. But the gentry must come down, and the poor shall wear the crown. Stand up now, diggers all. The lawyers they conjoin. Stand up now, stand up now. The lawyers they conjoin. Stand up now. To arrest you they advise, such fury they devise. The devil in them lies, and hath blinded both their eyes. Stand up now, stand up now. Their self-will is their law. Stand up now, stand up now. Their self-will is their law. Stand up now. Since tyranny came in, they count it now no sin to make a jail a gin, to starve poor men therein. Stand up now, diggers all. The clergy they come in. Stand up now, stand up now. The clergy they come in. Stand up now. The clergy they come in and say it is a sin that we should now begin our freedom for to win. Stand up now, diggers all. The tithes they yet will have. Stand up now, stand up now. The tithes they yet will have. Stand up now. The tithes they yet will have, and lawyers their frees crave, and this they say is brave, to make the poor their slaves. Stand up now, diggers all. 'Gainst lawyers and 'gainst priests. Stand up now, stand up now. 'Gainst lawyers and 'gainst priests. Stand up now. For tyrants they are both, even flat against their oath. To grant us they are loath, free meat and drink and clothes. Stand up now, diggers all. With spades and hoes and plows. Stand up now, stand up now. With spades and hoes and plows. Stand up now. Your freedom to uphold, seeing cavaliers are bold, to kill you if they could, and rights from you to hold. Stand up now, diggers all.
Indicat, thank you for the $50 dono, and for the love from Utah. Love from Minnesota right back. Thank you so goddamn much. Getting us kicked off on the right foot. Hello, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. You've never caught a riverboat stream live? It's hard to catch a stream. It's made out of water. Hello, how we doing? Hello, Kiana Shadow Dancer. Hello, Wild Weasel. Hello, Dr. Sahiba. Hello, Jameson P. And I don't know why I added an N in there. Jameson P. There we go. Nailed it. Regington Mogus. Hello. Hello, Lemony fucking Snicket. Oh, shimp is just a very, very specific term for this community. People were asking what we should all call ourselves, and someone, I think it was Salmon Moose, did a text-to-speech, but left the R out of shrimp, and said shimp instead, and I said it out loud a lot, and I like it, so you guys are all called shimps now. Because much like shrimp, in the ocean, one shrimp is very vulnerable, but a million shrimp together, or even better, a million shimp together, why, you can form some kind of shimpy conglomeration. Maybe you guys can, like, weave together some kind of suit out of various kelps or weeds down on the ocean floor. Maybe you can construct some kind of, water-based breathing apparatus to go on land and multiply. Take advantage of the, warmth of various geothermal jets to melt, pack ice in icebergs and go on land and multiply even more. You know, like I think a lot. I think we can really, when we put our minds to it, we can all do a lot. Bug's Life analogy, yeah, something. Yeah, exactly. Hello. How we doing, Canna Bob Rex? Hell, I thought it was like a she simp. Nah, it's sillier than that, as usual with this community. Can you remember my last name? Addison Vigil. Or Vigil, as the case might be. All for solidarity, but I draw the line at becoming a Lemurian. That's fair. That's fair. OMG, the Will Ferrell references. Thank you for understanding the reference. I stumbled into it, and I stumbled into it and just kept rolling. Doing good? Hell yeah, Canna Bob. Hello, Punky Gal. Hello, Hammock. Hello, Aska. Hello, Salmon Moose. Hello, Matatiahu. Hello, Snuggle Kitten. Hello, Crayen. Or Craney. I'm gonna go with Crayen. Or Crane, maybe. Hello, Nine-Tailed Witch. Hello, Salty Turtle Cupcake. Hello, Gamer G. Hello, how we doing, folks? Hello, Bastion. Hello. How we doing, Erica? Hello, Ophelia. Did you see how Nancy Mace is no longer calling for the death penalty now that the killer has been found to not, in fact, be a trans lefty? Well, yeah, of course. They want to kill their political enemies. They don't want to kill their allies, you know? It's a terribly inconvenient fact, you know? I retweeted a meme earlier today. You know, the Civil War has been canceled due to the shooters' you know, lack of compliance, lack of demographic compliance. And like, that's honestly, it's kind of true, but only kind of, and we'll talk about why in a bit. Yeah, these people turn into corn cobs the second the second they become angry. Hello, Gerard Willuigier. Willuigier. I'm trying my best here, Gerard. I'm sorry. Hello, Peradieu. Demographic assholism. That is the subclass of fascism we're currently in with these clowns. That studio is gonna look so fly. God, Von 400, inshallah, my brother. Inshallah. Cause like, fuck, I want it done so badly. Hey, Jessalee, how you doing? Hey, Rhyme Jack, how we doing? Soul the Witch, hello, Spherical Man, hello, Kiona Shadow Dancer. I might have said hello to you already. If so, you got two. You got me. You played me like a goddamn fiddle. Hello, Depraved Ambiance. Hello, Raspy. Hello, Webmage 101. Hello, Draconics. Hello. How we all doing, folks? I'm back in my Minecraft world, and the Ender Pearl I threw is still there. I may have once understood that, but that information has left my mind long ago. Hello, DTH. Hello, Jason Kelly. Hello, Brassman. Hello, Lonzetta. Hello, Pirate Amir. Hello, Matthew H. Hello. How we doing? Hello, Flop Motions. How we doing, Jess? Hello, everybody. I'm a pronunciation non-prescriptivist. Oh, I like that. That greatly benefits me. God, it has been very funny to see the amount of like back padding from from the law enforcement who were deployed. It's genuinely like a coalition of the silliest evil gooses you could possibly imagine. Like, the Keystone Cops were better investigators, you know? Like, these people are basically Benny Hilling it around and then clapping themselves on the back for doing no work whatsoever. Nice ice. No, not nice ice. Nice. It's just we're just calling it the nice officer. Shabriri's woe is leaning they weigh so far. I don't know what that means. Oh wait, I heard the shooter is a groiper. Is that true? Also, hi. Short answer, it really fucking seems like it. I took a nap today, and that is why I am late. One of the reasons I'm late. Really, really threw me off, but gotta say, it felt decadent. Did you see a clip of a MAGA person stealing hats from Charlie's tent? Nah. Civil War canceled, third Groiper war on. I mean, yeah, that is kind of how it goes. Let's see here. All right. Fashionably late, as always. Not OPSEC. Having mixed feelings. On the one hand, not a fan of the FBI. On the other hand, having a completely broken FBI is also scary. Not sure how to align these feelings. I think the way to align these feelings is that a best case scenario for us under a Trump administration is a broken FBI versus a functional FBI, because understand that a functional FBI in the hands of a Donald Trump type authoritarian is far more dangerous, you know? Ready for some incompetent ICE impressions? I really enjoyed doing the nice officer. You know? Cops used to be commonly received in films as boobs. Make Keystone Cops great again. It's true. The only reason Hollywood shifted on cops is because police departments made made a deal with them to give them money and props and such, and that lowered costs for filmmaking and television making. It's basically free propaganda, you know? Let's see. Propaganda, if you will, indeed. All right, folks. Are you guys ready to talk about things? Have we done enough preamble? I didn't really assemble anything super cool to talk with y'all about pre-stream. Like, I don't have any like horror movies shot from the perspective of a dog this time. We're getting close to spooky month though, so if you guys need horror recs, let me know. Vita Carnis when? You know what? You know what? Let me just open this up here, okay? And all right. Cool. And just move this over here. Excellent. All right. Preamble, we the people, in order to form a more perfect revolution. Volcanogeologist, indeed. Watch the new Mr. K movie trailer. It looks really good. What? I don't know what that is. Mr. K. What? Who is Mr. K? When I Google that, I get a Netherlands trailer from a year ago. Oh, here we go. All right, I have no idea what this is, so we're going in blind. Ooh, spooky
Single
movie.
room, double room. I'm alone.
I have to be here in the morning.
Oh, I love him. He's so off-putting.
One thing at a time. Mind you, don't give us any trouble.
We have a new guest.
I'm just passing through.
We haven't been outside for years.
Do you know the way to the exit?
Which one?
You haven't been out at all, have you? Is no one interested in what actually is going on? Look! The hotel is shrinking!
Oh, shit.
Gamer you all play. You have potential. You are special. You're all insane.
You think you know the truth. But why is your truth better than mine?
We have to mark every corridor. Enough!
Hurry up, you can stay here.
Oh, that looks neat.
You are that nice young man who was looking for the reception.
Did you find it, dear?
Oh, that looks cool. Looks delightfully weird. This is called Mr. K, apparently in theaters October 8th. Yeah, I'm wondering if this is kind of like in D&D, when you go into a house and suddenly you realize that, like, I don't know, the table has a heartbeat, and so does the floor and the walls, and suddenly you realize that your DM threw a mimic house at you. You know, like I wonder if this is like the house is alive. That seems like a really that seems like a really cool concept to explore in like a horror, like with an actual eye for like turning it into a horror situation. You know, like just saying the house is alive doesn't really sell it. Showing that there's like veins and shit behind the wallpaper, that's fucking gross. It's great. I love making non-traditional mimics, right? What's it about, though? I mean, it looks to be about Crispin Glover going to work at a hotel only to not be able to find a way to exit the hotel. He starts trying to look for an exit, finds out no one else in the hotel has been outside since they came here, and then realizes that it seems like it's that then he realizes that the hotel is slowly shrinking. Because I'm assuming because it's eating them. So that's what I got from that. Also, maybe there's like a weird cult thing going on. Like it looked like they were trying to like turn him into like some kind of, I don't know, heroic Christ figure. Wasn't that book House of Leaves similar? I need to read House of Leaves, so I don't know. The hotel is like a stomach? Yeah. I was assuming the hotel was alive. That's also my assumption. Kind of like the Haunting series that came out years ago, like The Haunting of Hill House, Haunting of Bly Manor, stuff like that. It's an awesome premise. It's a really cool premise, yeah. Haunting of Hill House is incredible. I really liked Haunting of Bly Manor too. Like both of those movies are just phenomenal. Movies, television series. Every episode feels like a movie though. What I think it might have been the funeral episode of The Haunting of Hill House is maybe like one of the coolest episodes of television I've ever seen. I did not like Hill House. Scared the shit out of me, but I'm a baby. Yeah. I watched it with my partner and it traumatized her. And I feel bad. That being, you know, I have a fondness for those shows. Maybe we'll watch them on the Discord together. Come spooky month. Also, how we all doing today? Okay, before we get too deep into, you know, what y'all came here for, the politics. Y'all doing okay? Did you finish watching the series The Wafflebackers? I'm doing poorly. I'm sorry. Also, Midnight Mass is fucking banger. If you guys are more into like creature features, Midnight Mass is like a 10 out of 10. "12 a.m. I've done a lot today. Same. Pretty good. Loving the new Gorillaz song. Nice. All right. Y'all ready? Y'all ready for content? Let me do one thing here. Okay. Okay. Now, folks, I need to tell you how today's stream is going to work. So today's stream, we're going to do something a little bit different, all right? Because I have compiled a wheel of pain, okay? Specifically of brain rot content that I would love to share with you guys. However, I did sweeten the pot a little bit. It has two things that I think you guys will find enjoyable, right? So here's what we got on the menu. We have George Bush. We have Dinesh D'Souza. We have Curtis Yarvin. We have Brett Pooper. We have Jorben Pieperbum. We also have Vita Carnis and Midwest Angelica. That's right, a wheel of pain, everybody. And I'm going to spin this wheel when we hit 100 subs. When we hit 100 subs. I actually found something to function as a wheel. Baby. So that is kind of the, I don't know, the sketch of what we got going on here. And I will also throw out there that, yes, do I have them all prepped? I have most of them prepped. Okay. Actually, you know what? I'll throw a what if alt hist on there too. You know, I'll do that for you guys. I'll take that bullet. Okay. Can we escape into the wheel of pain? It cannot be worse than the real life of pain. Haha, you think so? There you go. So, already you guys have 10 subs. Thanks to sorry, you have 11 subs. Thanks to Indicat and Spherical Man. Thank you for supporting the stream, everybody. Really, really appreciate y'all. And folks, $5. Every $5 dono is equal to 1 sub. Every sub is equal to a sub. Every membership is equal to a sub. So just contribute to the stream, and that number will tick up. Until then, we have a number of topics to cover. So we'll cover those. In between each one, we'll take a look at where we're at when it comes to sub count towards our goals, and we'll work from there. God. Olsen Xe, thank you for the 5 tier 1 subs. Very much appreciated over on Twitch. Hell yeah. Also, folks, if you want to be in the on-screen chat, I know we have a lot of new faces here. Consider coming over to riverboat.gg in order to be in the on-screen chat. You get a bunch of emotes. It's nice and fun. People are chill. Yeah. Also, your donos go even more directly to me than when it's filtered through Twitch or YouTube. With that being said, y'all ready? Hello, Ashley Arbuckle. We're very friendly here? Hell yeah. You ready? Punky Gal's ready? Canna Bob Rex is ready? Let's go. Clicking that button. Crystallized Pig is ready, that's right. Black Star Chan, let's go. Folks, we have to start out today because and we got to talk about something uncomfortable, which is the fact that I don't think I've ever won this much in my life. I don't think I've ever won this much in my life. You know, when we came into this administration and they promised that they'd make America great again and you'd get sick of winning. I didn't believe them, and you know what? I can't believe how sick I am of winning these days. It's crazy how much it feels like we're winning. Just so great. I look at the news every day and I go, boy howdy, this is what winning feels like. And, you know, like, I opened up my news the other day. I went over to ProPublica to see what was up. And, you know, look, nothing says winning to me quite like, oh, the EPA is planning to stop collecting greenhouse gas emissions data from most polluters. I.e., we're just going to blind ourselves. Like, we're basically going to play peekaboo with the pollutants in our water supply and our air. You know, the Trump administration is just going to be the Trump administration is just going to be like, hey, just cover your eyes, everybody, and you know the pollution won't exist anymore. You know, hey, do you want a resurgence of the black lung by just breathing city air? Congrats. But the black lung that you're gonna contract in the Trump administration, it's just black from all of the winning, chat. It's just black from all of the winning. You know, those lungs that are pink and healthy looking, they're just not winning enough. Your body not dying of cholera, that's loser talk right now, okay? when you drink water and you're pretty sure it's not going to give you some kind of like brain amoeba that's going to eat your the matter in your brain, destroy your neurons one by one. That's surety in your water supply. That's just loser talk. The real winners are the ones who drink the brain-eating amoebas, all right? The real winners are the ones with just that much shit in their water. Because you know what? Real winning is understanding that, hey, some people might need to drink shit water, or water laced with arsenic, or water laced with, I don't know, some kind of industrial chemical. Let's say pesticides.
Can we get a seance with tricky asterisk 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 asterisk? I want to know how he feels about this administration so much.
Oh God, no. I refuse. Lily loves stuff. Thank you for the $5 dono. But you know, this is where we're at as a country. We're just winning so much. And one of the things about this is that they rolled out this program to blind the EPA to pollutants. And they heralded it in the Trump administration as a huge win against red tape and government regulation. And I just have to ask, like, how much of an onus was it on you to just like collect data on how much you were polluting the environment? You know, right? Like, it's only a big burden if you're doing a lot of polluting, right? But no, this will speed up industry for sure, and not just like allow a CEO or two to buy an extra half a yacht. Okay? You know, that's what winning is. Winning is when CEOs can buy a second boat that can gather dust in their warehouses, okay? That's real winning, chat. And you know, I think to myself, you know, what does real winning look like these days? Well, I think even, you know, we have to take a look at what it means to win for, I think, middle America, right? Middle America. You know, the hard-working people of the land who are tilling the soil and you know, they wake up early and they go milk their cows and then they go, like, plant, say, their soybean crops. How are they doing with all of this winning? And well, I just have to go over to this. You know, I'm reading the news and I come across this Semaphore article. China shuns U.S. soybeans in test for Trump's trade strategy. And you know, that's a really level-headed way to title this article, because clearly we're winning so much that this is no test at all. Like, we've already passed the test to Trump's trade strategy with flying colors, because clearly, this is just a gigantic win for all of us. Except if you actually read the article, then it turns out that China has traditionally bought $13 billion worth of soybeans every year. And it in fact accounts for the majority of our soybean exports. And this year they have China's bought $0 of soybeans. So you know all of those farmers who can afford, you know, fields full of soybeans that don't get sold anywhere. You know all of those farmers who are like totally willing to just give up an entire harvest in the name of winning. They're winning so much they don't even need to sell their soybeans. So the USA will have lots of cheap soybeans. Well, you know, you might think that, WPG Squirrel. However, there's a really big problem here, and it's that it now costs more because of the lack of people buying soybeans. It now costs more to plant the soybeans and raise the soybeans than it does like you get far less money back from that. You do not make a return on that investment. You lose money. So what this is setting up is a possible wiping out of a lot of farms that rely on selling soybeans. What we're looking here is at entire sections of the farming industry going under because they can't sell their soybeans. And this is already on top of the fact that USAID getting cut. You know, the programs that, like, oh, the various government leaders and Elon Musk were like, oh, USAID, we're just spending so much money on other countries. Well, a lot of that USAID money actually went to American farmers. So that $13 billion that they're not getting from China, they're also not getting the billions in USAID money that they would typically get. So, yeah, on top of that, like, the tariffs are basically shutting down the entire farming industry, like, the entire industries around farms when it comes to, like, farm equipment, etc. Like, the supply chain is starting to corrode and break down as a result of everything that is happening. But, you know, you don't need a supply chain when you're winning this much, am I right, folks? There's just too much winning happening, really. I'm overloaded by the amount of winning. Just like those farmers are about to be overloaded with debt. And winning. Debt and winning. And I also just want to, you know, I kept looking because, you know, I'm a silly little gal and I read the news like a curious person. And well, when you know what, I came across this from earlier this month, just a few days ago. You know, and I just kind of think, you know what it means to me to win. What it means to me to win is suddenly to not be able to get any compensation from airlines when they bump you off a plane. Unexpectedly, through no fault of your own. You wanted to get to your destination? Tough luck, motherfucker. You're gonna have to win hard in order to get to your destination these days. Because airline companies have successfully lobbied the Trump administration to remove the requirements to compensate passengers who get booted from flights or get significantly delayed in their flights. So that's super fun and cool. Hey, you know what it feels like to win? It feels suspiciously like getting fucked over by airlines. Hey, you know that feeling you get when you're just completely fucked by an airline? That's the feeling of winning in Trump's America. A perfect system. God. I'm just going to read you something infuriating. In May of 2023, President Biden announced that his administration was proposing a new rule that would require all airlines to compensate passengers for significantly delayed or canceled flights. Under the rule, travelers in the United States would receive $200 to $775 for significant flight delays or cancellations caused by the airline. In 2023, 93,897 domestic flights were canceled, and 95,024 were delayed more than 3 hours. The rule was formally proposed in December of 2024, and domestic airlines are well positioned to absorb these costs. In the second quarter of 2025, for example, Delta recorded $2.1 billion in profit. That's not revenue, profit. The last 12 months have been profitable for most airlines, including Delta, $4.5 billion in profits, United, $3.3 billion in profits, American, $567 million in profits, and Southwest, $392 million in profits. When the pandemic threatened the airline's bottom line, the industry received $62 billion in bailouts in taxpayer money. We gave airlines $62 billion, and they still get to rack in profits every year while paying us nothing back. But that's just winning, you know? That's just winning. They don't even have to compensate you anymore if your flight is late. Super, super cool. Yeah, because last week the Trump administration quietly canceled plans to compensate U.S. passengers for delays and cancellations. A short entry in the Federal Register said the rule was being withdrawn consistent with the Department of Administration and administration priorities. In a statement to the media, the Department of Transportation said some of the rules proposed or adopted by the previous administration went beyond what Congress has required by statute, and we intend to reconsider these extra statutory requirements. So, yeah, basically, the Trump administration said, fuck you. Fuck you. You know? Those, we must protect those gigantic mega corporation profits. And this might have something to do with the fact that, well, a former airline lobbyist is now the Secretary of Transportation. You know. Sean Duffy is a former airline lobbyist, and he received $50,000 to his lobbying firm in the first 3 months. It's surprisingly cheap to buy political favors in this country, I guess. Wild stuff. Also, don't forget, a lot of these airlines and airline CEOs donated millions of dollars to Trump. United alone donated $1 million to Trump's inauguration. You know? It's all just bullshit. Made up by rich capitalists in order to take advantage of you. And you might say, but rich, when you say capitalists, what do you mean? What I mean is people who own capital, people who own companies. People who own these megacorps and, like, lord over their workforce while suckling on, like, government welfare. The real welfare queens, because welfare queens have never been real. Okay, Reagan made those up as a propaganda line, and it worked. But the real welfare queens are the goddamn oligarchs. The people who run these gigantic mega corporations who want to squeeze a couple million more dollars out of people by being able to put chemicals from industrial waste into your water supply. Or who want to just make a little bit more money by screwing over people while they're traveling. It's welfare for corporations, and Republicans love it. They are addicted to it, in particular. They are fine with welfare as long as it is going to the richest people on the planet. And the richest people on the planet know that, and they buy those favors. And I just want to remind folks what happens when you have a system like this. It rips itself apart. This type of open corruption is not sustainable. But maybe it is because we're just winning so much. Maybe all of this winning will somehow make it sustainable. Hasn't worked for anyone else in history, but, you know, maybe it will work for us. With that being said, let's move on. God. Yeah, do you feel like you're winning yet, chat? With that being said, folks, hey, we finished our first segment. How we doing? How you doing, everybody? Hello. Is my mic popping? Yes. Sometimes my mic pops. Because I'm using sub standard, not substandard, sub quality hardware. Words are hard. I'm using bad hardware. It's not my best. It's just the hardware that I have currently set up in this temporary office. But when the studio's finished, the mic pops should cease. Suboptimal. Thank you, Summer Lovin'. Subpar. Is it still popping? I'm a little worried if I try and fix it that the stream will crash, because that's kind of how this works. No pop? Awesome. Now, let's see here, folks. We are currently at 17 out of 100 subs as we make our trek towards the first spin of the Wheel of Pain. And I would also say, folks, it's time to hit that follow button or that subscribe button, or that like button. Because, folks, you guys, even if you aren't donoing, that helps get more people in the room, helps get more people in the door. And by in the room and in the door, I mean on this riverboat. There you go. We're on brand. And we got a song, a little ditty to tell you all what to do in these trying times. Okay? Y'all ready? Yeah, I'm sure many of you already know the words, and if you do, you can sing along. Okay? Here we go. What's in the boxes? My old studio.
Go.
That I need to unpack in my new one.
Click the button. Click the goddamn button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the goddamn button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the goddamn button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the goddamn button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the goddamn button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the goddamn button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the goddamn button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the goddamn button. Click button. Click button. Click
There we go. But yeah, the boxes are full of cables, various equipment for streaming, audio equipment, lighting stuff, just a bunch of like studio things and computer peripherals. None of it is Wall Street Journal wine. I can tell you that much. And yes. Started watching you yesterday, and now yes, I've clicked the button. Thank you goddamn much. I am stumbling over my words. I'm so sorry. Thank you so goddamn much. There we go, nailed it. Wait, they sell wine? No, there's like a subscription you can get. My partner's dad had one a while back, and like they just send you like a variety of wine to try. I don't know. But he had boxes and I was moving,
I see you
so
been boxing Jack, boxing glove emoji, boxing glove emoji.
oh, you know it. You know it. I've been watching Peaky Blinders. Now I've actually seen folks like square up like this. It's very funny. Matthew H, thank you for the $10 Australian. Bringing us up. We're almost a fifth of the way there, folks. Look at you all go. So wine subscription? Yeah, that's what I said. The Wall Street Journal wine subscription was actually really good. My understanding was that it was a pretty great deal. No wonder the Wall Street Journal sucks. They're drunk all the time. Yeah. Yeah. Anyone else struggling to not give in to despair? I'm just trying to distract myself. You know, I I gotta be honest, I'm kind of hopeful. I know that might seem a little odd in these times, but I gotta be honest. Like, I think our enemies are deeply incompetent. I think they are hilariously inept, and like I think that their plans are so bad and their talent is so ham-fisted that they're pissing off way too many people. And I mean, whether it's constantly going to bat for like pedophiles or like, you know, just getting mud on their face when and fucking up like investigations, like the Charlie Kirk assassin investigation, where they had literally nothing. They had literally nothing. God. And now they've triggered like this redistricting war that is leading to like conservative states to try and gerrymander. But like that's not a good play for them, even if they want to like go down that route, largely because they've already gerrymandered these states. Like the playing field is already uneven. So one thing I will say, and I guess this can be like a little segment here, is that Missouri did the same thing Texas did, right? So like earlier today, the Missouri legislature voted to gerrymander the state even further, and it's going to eliminate one of the, or they believe it's going to eliminate one of the Democratic seats in the state, right? The issue is here that the state is already so gerrymandered that there's only two Democratic states, like two Democratic seats in the state. So even if the gerrymander is successful, it's just a flip of one seat. And even then, it's spreading other districts so thin that there is a very real possibility that those districts become more flippable due to the ineptitude of what is happening here. Like, the blatant power grab does not work well for a lot of what they're doing, right? Because you gotta understand, a lot of folks, if you are not paying close attention to politics, if they hear about this, they get angry because you're cheating at the game, you know? You're cheating at the game to like disenfranchise folks, and people understand that. And I think that this has the potential to massively backfire in a way that is difficult to calculate. And like all of that is happening while the supplies of of just material goods that companies have bought up are now beginning to dwindle due to tariffs. The tariffs have gone into effect, and like 80% of like postal postage from other countries has evaporated into the air. Like what we're looking at here is like truly, truly bad. And it's in a way that like everyone is going to feel, and there's no scapegoat, really. Like there's no scapegoat when it comes to why are the prices going up. There's no scapegoat on any of this when we're talking about like this means the difference between people staying in their homes and people being on the street. People being able to put food on the table, or people having to watch their kids like stomachs grumble, you know? This is going to affect people, and it's going to radicalize people, and it's not going to radicalize them towards Republicans, generally speaking. So all I gotta say is that I think a lot of what is happening right now is getting a lot of people really fucking pissed off. You know, I it's anecdotal, but like just I've been driving around doing a lot of errands as part of moving, and I've just been seeing sporadic, spontaneous protests erupting all over the Twin Cities area here in Minnesota, you know? whether it's people on bridges with Mexico's flag and signs calling for the release of the Epstein files, or we're talking like people turning up for businesses that are being raided by ICE. Like, people are fucking pissed off in a way that it is deeply, deeply difficult to articulate. And this is especially true of like the Democratic base. People are furious. I think it's something like, in the polling, it's like 80+% of the Democratic base is like furious at what is happening right now. And like the remaining 20%, they all know someone who's furious about it and like understand why someone would be furious about this. And it's one thing you have to understand, it also is affecting the independents, and the independents are now also predominantly angry. Basically, everyone is pissed off, with the exception of a large majority of the Republican base. But even Republicans are getting hit with this shit. Even Republicans are getting hit with this shit. You know, this is a story from like a week or two ago. But like, I mean, these stories are becoming more and more common. U.S. Navy veteran now 100% regrets his vote for Trump after ICE detains his wife. U.S. veteran in Kentucky says his Irish-born wife has been jailed there with intent to deport over a $25 bad check she wrote 10 years ago as a single mom. She paid it back, but the United States is calling it a crime of moral turpitude. And she has been in this country for 47 years with 5 children. Like, there's a whole lot of, wait, you were only supposed to deport the bad ones. What are you doing? Like, the desperation here to meet the unrealistic quotas that the Trump administration is putting forward for ICE is leading to the deportations and detentions of people like that. You know? And these are stories that break through to the Republican base, right? They're going after the wives of U.S. veterans who are like, who've been in the country for almost 50 years because 20 years ago a $25 check bounced. So it is, I mean, it's interesting, but I gotta say, the anger is good, you know, and it's justifiable. It's justifiable rage. So when I look around and I see people organizing for things like No Kings, right? And I would recommend folks check out nokings.org. I'll link it in chat here for you all. There you go. But people are organizing all around this country, whether it is in their local Democratic Party, or their DSA, or their indivisible groups. You know, people all across this country are getting organized, and if you're not, it's time you did. Organize your workplace, organize your neighborhoods. It's time to do that shit. And I know it's a huge pain in the ass. I understand, folks. It is a huge pain in the ass to go to a meeting or to organize stuff like this. It is a huge pain in the ass. But it is a much bigger pain in the ass for our entire country to go down a toilet because some dipshit thought that he could unilaterally tax the entirety of the country. And that's happening right now. That's happening right now. So you either get organized and we do something to save ourselves, or we all get fucked together. And I would personally prefer the former. So, that being said, turn up to your No Kings protests. Next protest, this one, is on October 18th. You can already see the map is filling in. many different protests all across the country already planned. If you are in an area and there isn't a protest you can join, you can make your own and set up a spot for other people to join you in protest on, again, October 18th. So please make some time. Make some noise. All right? And for the love of God, bring some friends. You know, safety in numbers, but also, like, the more we get out there, the better off we're all going to be. And Ferexial, I understand some people can't take the time off, but those who can, should. Those who can, should. And folks, if you need help organizing with your local Dems, join our Discord, !Discord. Reach out to Dragonfly in the Discord. Dragonfly will help you get organized with your local Dems. She has helped organize her own branch of the party into a more farther left progressive stance, and you can do that for your branch too. And if you would like to organize in DSA, join the Discord and reach out to Gamergy in the Discord. She will help you get organized and situated with your local DSA. And if you don't have a local branch of the DSA, you can, in fact, make one, and she will help you do that too. Okay? We need more people to get into both these places. We need folks to help make DSA even more effective in the vein of New York DSA. We need folks who are actually willing to go and do stuff to organize. So please join DSA, your Dems, whatever. I don't care, but join some kind of organizing apparatus because we need folks to get organized. It's now is the time. Okay? Has this community really created 2 new chapters of DSA? Hell yeah, I'm so proud of you guys. You guys are doing so many cool things, and I really, really, really appreciate y'all. So there you have it, folks. I guess this is a end of the mini segment that I did not plan, but there you go. Be hopeful. And if you are scared, the antidote to being scared is action. If you are apathetic or feeling doomer-pilled, like, go take action to organize in your community with other like-minded folks, because that is the antidote
Talking
to
to
that.
coworkers is always interesting cause most in my department are cool and really progressive, but got one guy who only talks about Chinese child super soldiers. It's really a mixed bag, lol.
Well, I mean, if I knew about Chinese child super soldiers, maybe I would want to talk about that all the time too. I mean, I don't think they have a Spartan program in China, but I could be wrong. Thank you for the $10 super chat, Shadow Angel, and thank you for getting us over 1/5 of the way to our goal. Let's go! Yeah, well, Bad Empanada's a dumbass, so I don't care if Bad Empanada's calling to dismantle the DSA. Like, Bad Empanada's like one of those people who's like, yeah, let's do a civil, let's have anarchy so that we can Immortan Joe our way to communism. It's stupid politics. Asa Sailor, thank you very much for the membership. Let's go! Charlie Kirk is a piece of shit, but I would have preferred he'd lived long enough to see himself in the mirror. Okay. Even in that one American. Whew. All right. To trick my cat into eating her medicine. She's smarty, so it's not easy. Aw, cats are so cute. Bad Empanada recently said you're an imperialist if you join a union. If that's true, that's both very funny and like an instant reason to like ignore anything he has to say. Got my MAGA aunt to question her MAGA hood this evening? Hell yeah, that sounds like a huge breakthrough. Just wish he stayed conscious long enough to know what was happening.
Chinese child super soldiers? Are you sure they weren't just playing Dynasty Warriors while totally spun?
Oh fuck, that's exactly what happened, Pluvius. That's exactly what happened. I've played a lot of Dynasty Warriors. They're all super soldiers in that. Thank you for the $5 dono. Appreciated. All right. Let's go into a serious segment. Do. Oh, you know what? I'll put this as a piece of good news somewhere in the stream. There we go.
What's up?
Oh god. I forgot I wanted to cover this too. All right. Okay. Y'all ready for next segment? Remember, folks, this show is made possible by viewers like you. If you're enjoying the show, click the button and also consider dropping those subs, donos, and memberships because you guys power this show. That's where I get the funding to do all this. You guys. So thank you all very, very much. Will the COVID shot make me a super soldier? I mean, I don't know. I've been told that it will make you Magneto, but they also said that about 5G, so who knows? Okay. So, folks, they got him. They caught the guy. We're gonna take a look at. I guess I should probably be more specific. They got the suspect in Charlie Kirk's assassination. Yes, just yesterday I was saying like they had absolutely nothing on this guy, and that is still true. Because the only reason they were able to catch this guy is because his dad apparently he confessed to his dad, and his dad went to consult with clergy, and then the clergy tipped off the FBI, and the FBI then like arrested him. So it's not like good police work that caught Charlie Kirk's alleged assassin. But just that was it. That is the entire chain of events, and so we now know who this guy is. And let's take a look. Here is the governor of Utah talking about what happened here.
Thank you again to our incredible law enforcement team who has worked so hard. Sheriff, I got a solid 90 minutes last night, so I'm probably the most well-rested person up here. Ladies and gentlemen, I get the microphone, so I hope you'll permit me a moment just to share a few more thoughts about where we are and how we got here.
Wait, is that normal for clergy? I guess you can confide in them without specific... Well, so my understanding is that like confidentiality applies to like the Catholic Church for the purpose of confession, but I don't know that other religions have the same thing going on. Like I think it applies to like priests during confession. I don't know that it applies with Mormons. I don't know that is a normal aspect that they are bound to. So
and maybe a little bit of where we go from here. I don't want to get too preachy, but I think it's important that we, with eyes wide open, understand what's happening in our country today. I've heard I've heard people say, well, why are we so invested in this? There's
Is he Mormon? Yes.
violence happening all across our country, and violence is tragic everywhere. And every life taken is a child of God who deserves our love and respect and dignity.
Yeah, the audio in this is screwy. It's only coming in the left side. Nothing I can do about that.
This is certainly about the tragic death, assassination, political assassination.
Wait, did I just miss the part?
I've heard people say, well, why are we so invested in this? There's violence happening
the
all
clergy,
across our country,
including Mormons,
and violence
is
is
fighting like mad to not turn in PDF files when they do religious consultation. But if someone kills Charlie Kirk, string him up.
I mean, yeah. Yes.
tragic everywhere, and every life taken is a child of God who deserves our love and respect and dignity. This is certainly about the tragic death, assassination, political assassination of Charlie Kirk. But it is all.
You know, it's going to be weirder and weirder for them to call this a political assassination, because it is a political assassination. It's just that the entire conservative reaction to this has been to paint this as like a disgruntled leftist, you know, trans, blue-haired, lesbian, bisexual, you know, went on a killing spree, and like that's just not what happened. You know, like the facts of the matter are, and we'll get to this, but it certainly seems to be that the shooter that they apprehended, the alleged shooter that they apprehended, is a far right individual. Like this is an assassination done by the far right on the far right. And we'll get to why I believe that, but it's going to get more and more awkward for these press conferences. It will not surprise me, by the way, if as a result of who did this and the potential underlying reasoning, if suddenly you see a lot of the conversations that have been talking about martyring Charlie Kirk and, like, you know, memorializing him forever suddenly get a lot quieter.
Also much bigger than an attack on an individual. It is an attack on all of us. It is an attack on the American experiment. It is an attack on our ideals. This cuts to the very foundation of who we are, of who we have been, and who we could be in better times. Political violence is different than any other type of violence for lots of different reasons. One, because in the very act that Charlie championed of expression, that freedom of expression that is enshrined in our founding documents, in having his life taken in that very act, makes it more difficult for people to feel like they can share their ideas, that they can speak freely.
I understand that, and I largely agree with the point the governor is making here, but I want to also add that where is this concern for the constitutional rights of children that are, like, being murdered in mass shootings? Where's the concern and the desperate need to do something to, like, stop the unending waves of violence against children in schools and churches? Like, it's I want to see some of this urgency and fire from anyone in leadership on these issues, but when it's Charlie Kirk, it's an entirely different story. You know?
We will never be able to solve all the other problems, including the violence problems that people are worried about, if we can't have a clash of ideas safely and securely. Even, especially those ideas with which you disagree. That's why this matters so much. Over the last 48 hours, I have been as angry as I have ever been, as sad as I have ever been. And it was...
Are you allowed to say fuck Charlie Kirk? Of course.
As anger pushed me to the brink, it was actually Charlie's words that pulled me back.
Oh my God.
I'd like to share some of those.
Man.
And specifically right now...
it was Charlie's words who pulled me back. That guy who was so in favor of stoning people he disagreed with to death. The guy who advocated for stoning his political enemies to death. Yeah, such a reasonable, moderate voice.
Now, if I could, I need to talk to the young people.
The guy who advocated for children to watch public executions was one of the reasonable voices on the conservative side of things. Shut the fuck up. Those are not reasonable ideas.
In our state.
This was not a reasonable man.
My state. And all across the country. As President Trump reminded me, he said, you know who really loved Charlie? The youths. And he's right.
Certainly not the olds like Paul Pelosi, am I right? Who Charlie Kirk cheered on his would-be killer when his home was broken into.
Patel always
guy
look
with
like
a
his
hammer.
underwear are too tight.
I don't know. Kash Patel's ain't all there. Lily loves stuff. He ain't all there. That's just my opinion, you know. But like Charlie Kirk, he was loved by the youths. The youths, they loved when he would make fun of Paul Pelosi being bashed in the head with a hammer by an assassin who wanted to kill Nancy Pelosi. Oh, how the youths would laugh when Charlie would regale them with stories of how he wanted to get that man out of prison. The youths love it when you talk about your political enemies' loved ones being murdered by hammer-wielding lunatics. They love it. The youths love it. They live for it. What youth doesn't love hearing about the practice of stoning people and how that is a perfect aspect of God's law? The youths love that these days. You walk into a school these days, and every youth is talking about the latest stoning that they've thought about. It's one of their top priorities. The youths. Yes, the youths yearn for what Charlie described as the perfect law of God to be the governing law of the land in this country. Also, Straighter Aid, welcome. Hope you had a great stream. Welcome, Raiders. We're going over the news.
Young people loved Charlie, and young people hated Charlie. And Charlie went into those places anyway. And these are the words that have helped me. Charlie said, when people stop talking, that's when you get violence. He said, the weak can never forgive. Forgiveness is the attribute of the strong. The only way out of the labyrinth of suffering is to forgive. Welcome without judgment, love without condition, forgive without limit.
Those are all values that Charlie Kirk never once embodied. Never once. When it came to people that he hated en masse, he never once embodied those values that he professed. When it came to LGBTQ people, he pursued every avenue to excommunicate us from public life. When it came to, people who adhere to Islam, he wanted to, expel them from the country en masse. I'm sorry, you can't talk about forgiveness and love and compassion when you are advocating for the might of the state to eliminate entire groups of people by force. you can't do that. It's antithetical to your beliefs. Which is one of the reasons I know that Charlie Kirk was a charlatan. He was a flim-flam man who jingled keys in the eyes of every single goddamn conservative evangelical in this country and made them dance to his tune.
He said, always forgive your enemies. Nothing annoys them so much. A few months ago,
well, keep in mind, Diraku, that this man is also a conservative Republican, you know? He agrees with Charlie Kirk, you know? A lot of the people who are eulogizing Charlie Kirk agree with Charlie Kirk. And, you know, I think it's a revealing moment. We'll talk about that in another segment tonight, but that's kind of where we're at right now.
This last night, Charlie posted to social media, when things are moving very fast and people are losing their minds, it's important to stay grounded. Turn off your phone, read scripture, spend time with friends, and remember, internet fury is not real life. It's going to be okay. He again said, when you stop having a human connection with someone you disagree with, it becomes a lot easier to commit violence. He said, what we as a culture have to get back to is being able to have a reasonable agreement, where violence is not an option.
And you know what? I agree with that. I think it is a terrible sign of the times that our ability to have like peaceful civil discourse has completely and utterly broken down. But understand, Charlie Kirk played a role in that. You know, you can't have peaceful discourse with someone who doesn't think you deserve basic human rights. Like, that isn't something you can have peaceful discourse on. Like, oh, do you deserve to be treated like everyone else? Do you know, are you as human as I am is not a valid political debate when you're talking about hinging rights on someone being more or less human than another person. Charlie Kirk was a paid propagandist, and the valorizing him as a free speech warrior when he was literally paid by incredibly wealthy benefactors to do what he did, I'm sorry. None of what he did was in a vacuum. None of what he did was in a vacuum. It was done in the open by the very same people who pay massive amounts of money to get folks like the governor of Utah elected. The same people who propped up Charlie Kirk's entire career are the same people who lobby to get sewage put into your water supply, or, you know, lead into your water supply, as the case might be, or whatever industrial runoff you want to imagine into your water supply, or your air supply, or your building materials, or what have you. Like, these are the same people. Arguing that he was just a small bean who showed up to college campuses and wanted honest discourse. Like, I'm sorry, people do want honest discourse, but like, about things that are up for debate. And the fundamental humanity of people is not up for debate in my mind. You know, maybe others feel differently, but my answer to their desire to debate the inherent humanity of another person is fuck off. And I think that is the only correct response to people like that.
Forgiving your enemies just to spite them is the opposite of what Jesus was saying in that verse. He only ever used the Bible to benefit himself.
I mean, that is true, Nami Sunrider. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Let's keep going. About halfway through this.
Now, again, to my young friends out there, you are inheriting a country where politics feels like rage. It feels like rage is the only option. But through those words, we
Alt King NATO, I neither celebrate nor mourn his death. I have a sober view of the man, and I feel the impulse to do neither of those things. I have an 1.5 hour long video if you want a far more in-depth, breakdown of what I think about the entire situation. It's on my channel. You can go check that out if you want a more in-depth answer.
have a reminder that we can choose a different path. Your generation has an opportunity to build a culture that is very different than what we are suffering through right now. Not by pretending differences don't matter, but by embracing our differences and having those hard conversations.
Well, the thing is, it's not that I feel ambivalent. I don't see it as cause for celebration, and I certainly don't see it as cause for mourning. I owe no one my sorrow, for sure. But I don't see this as cause for celebration. I think this is a sign of dark times ahead for all of us.
I think we need more moral clarity right now. I hear all the time that words are violence. Words are not violence. Violence is violence. And there is one person responsible for what happened here. And that person is now in custody and will be charged soon and will be held accountable. And yet, all of us have an opportunity right now to do something different. I want to thank my fellow Utahns. This bad stuff happens. For 33 hours, I was praying that if this had to happen here, that it wouldn't be one of us. That somebody drove from another state, somebody came from another country. Sadly, that prayer was not answered the way I had hoped for, just because I thought it would make it easier on us if we could just say, hey, we don't do that here.
So, that's a really revealing thing to say. Like, I was really hoping that this would be someone who'd be a lot easier to be angry at and a lot easier to, turn into a political, pariah, but oh no, he's one of us. Why couldn't it have been a brown person from another country? Why couldn't it have been, one of the bad people from out of state? Why couldn't it have been like someone easier to demonize, like a trans person or a leftist? That's what he's saying here, guys. That kind of undercuts the entire speech before his point, doesn't it? I just really wanted it to be easier for me to demonize this person, and now it's going to complicate everything. It's so inconvenient. The suspect is just so demographically non-compliant, as I saw in a meme earlier today, and I find it a very comedic turn of phrase to describe something that is just genuinely happening. You can see it playing out in real time. I have never seen this kind of thing play out quite like this before.
And indeed, Utah is a special place. We lead the nation in charitable giving. We lead the nation in service every year. But it did happen here. And it was one of us. But I want you to look at how Utahns reacted the last 2 nights. There was no rioting, there was no looting, there were no cars set on fire, there was no violence. There were vigils and prayers and people coming together to share the humanity. And that, ladies and gentlemen, I believe is the answer to this. We can return violence with violence. We can return hate with hate. And that's the problem with political violence, is it metastasizes, because we can always point the finger at the other side. And at some point, we have to find an off-ramp, or it's going to get much, much worse. But see, these are choices that we can make. History will dictate if this is a turning point for our country. But every single one of us gets to choose right now if this is a turning point for us. We get to make decisions. We have our agency. And I desperately call on every American, Republican, Democrat, liberal, progressive, conservative, MAGA, all of us to please, please, please follow what Charlie taught me. I'll just conclude with words I share often from a friend and author, Yuval Levin, who was asked if he was optimistic about our country. And he said, I'm not optimistic. He said, I hate optimism. Like, that sounds bad. But he said, optimism is a vice. It's this idea that good things are just going to happen. And he said, in the history of the world, good things have never just happened. He says, I'm not optimistic, but I am hopeful. And hope is the virtue that sits between the vices of optimism and pessimism. Hope is the idea that good things are going to happen because we can make them so. I still believe in our country. And I know Charlie Kirk believed in our country. I still believe that there is more good among us than evil. And I still believe that we can change the course of history. I'm hopeful because Americans can make it so. Ladies and gentlemen, we're happy to answer any questions you might have.
Yeah, so obviously very emotional stuff happening here. We can still be great, guys. But understand, the very important aspect of his speech was right there towards the end in the middle, about how we were really hoping it was not one of ours. And, in context, maybe he's talking about the state of Utah, but also keep in mind that the state of Utah hasn't voted for a Democratic, president since 1964. It is a deeply Republican state. And, well, I think that plays some role when he says, we were hoping the shooter wasn't one of us. We were hoping the shooter wasn't one of us. And, we now know a lot more details about the shooter, or the suspected shooter who's in custody, and the shooting itself. So when we dive into it here is a post from The Verge that did a good job actually talking about what was happening. Now, yesterday, I need to issue a correction. While the Wall Street Journal backtracked the reporting on engravings on the bullets, there do, in fact, appear to have been engravings on the bullets, and they're a lot weirder than I had assumed. So I got that aspect of the story wrong. But it's all incomprehensible online gibberish that is consistent with that of someone who has been radicalized on sites like 4chan, among members of the far right, as well as audiences like Nick Fuentes or Laura Loomer, right? Yeah. Charlie Kirk's alleged killers scratched bullets with a Helldivers combo and a furry sex meme. Tyler Robinson is the name of the man they have in custody. And the bullets were etched with "Notice his bulges. Oh, whoa, what's this? Hey, fascist, catch. Up arrow symbol, right arrow, down 3 arrow symbols. Oh, Bella Chow, Bella Chow, Bella Chow, Chow, Chow. And if you read this, you are gay, Lamau." And that "oh, whoa, bulges," or "Notice his bulges. Oh, whoa, what's this?" is it's a meme. It's an online like 4chan meme. Okay? And I mean, it's this is just incomprehensible, like nihilistic far right gibberish, you know? And I'm not saying like, oh, this shooter's definitely a griper, because I don't have quite enough information to 100% confirm that. But it really, that seems to be the picture that is coming together. Okay? And when we're talking about Bella Chow, wait, isn't Bella Chow an anti-fascist meme? Well, it is. However, it's also included on the latest Griper playlist on Spotify. And up, right, down 3 times is the Helldivers 2 code for a 500 kilogram bomb. What? Why Helldivers? Because fascist people on the far right love Helldivers for the same reason they love Starship Troopers. It's because they choose to ignore that it's a satirical take on their actual worldview, and then they like just kind of LARP and pretend it is their, that the game endorses them. It's one of those things where, like, these kids would be really angry if they could read type situations. Yeah, like these are the same people who play, Warhammer 40K, and they don't realize it's making fun of fascists. They don't realize that it is at their expense. So, it's a real weird thing that is all coming together here. Oh, also, The Verge points out in this reporting that Bella Chow appears in a Helldivers 2 mod, as well as Hearts of Iron 4. So, if this person's super online, they would encounter stuff like this. And his family did describe him as being very online. And in case you're a little bit, like, on the fence, and I'm still not willing to confirm this 100%, but when 4chan saw who the shooter was, and I mentioned yesterday that they were trying to frame someone as the shooter, they were, of course, incorrect on that one. But today, Groiper confirmed. Nick is so fucked, it's unreal. Nick meaning Nick Fuentes, the caustic online personality who created this specific kind of community with his content. And yeah, I mean they're noticing their own, I guess. And it's not subtle. So is he our guy? Lamau, Paul was so convinced it was some Latino tranny. Like, this is like they're like, yep, it's our guy. This checks out. What's a groiper? A groiper is what the community around Nick Fuentes' content, that's what they call themselves. They're basically nihilistic fascists. They laugh about everything because everything is a joke to them until it is not. Nick Fuentes goes out in front of his audience on a daily basis and, talks about the evils of, Jews and, black and brown people and basically queer people, trans people. He's basically one of the... He's also very young. So I think he's like in his early or mid 20s, and he attracts a very young audience, and he kind of recruits off of places like 4chan. Is he 22? Damn, feels like he's been around forever. I guess he's just been making content since he was like 15. What's 4chan? 4chan is what would charitably be described as a wretched hive of scum and villainy. Basically, you can post anything there. It's very much close to unmoderated as you can get, essentially. Edgy teens have traditionally liked to go there so that they can post the N-word and various racial slurs. They also like sharing doxing material to endanger folks who are marginalized and become targets of the site. And that's essentially what it is, right? And adults, of course, also are aware of the site. So white supremacists and neo-Nazi adults also go to the website in order to recruit for their movements, and in order to kind of polarize folks into becoming white supremacists and Nazis. It's kind of like one of the process is kind of like, ho ho ho, we're all just laughing at about the Jews running all the things in the world, and then they just keep making that joke over and over and over again until it's suddenly not a joke anymore. That's kind of the modus operandi. All right. And is 8chan still a thing? Yeah, of course. I think it's called 8kun though. Number 8 KUN. Yeah. I believe that's where Q still drops posts, and it's very similar to 4chan. So that's a basic overview. But we're in an interesting time because Nick Fuentes apparently said this earlier today. To all of my followers, if you take up arms, I disavow you, I disown you in the strongest possible terms. That's not what we're about, Nick Fuentes. Except that is exactly what Nick Fuentes is about. Nick Fuentes makes a habit out of calling for violence against various political figures. This was posted earlier today, almost as soon as it was announced that they had caught the shooter. And there is some really... Let me put it this way. If this shooter is not a groiper, this is some very weird behavior from Nick Fuentes.
I'm wondering how legislation prohibiting outlets committing stochastic terrorism, doxing, etc. could work without infringing on First Amendment lately.
Genuinely, I don't have a prescription for that at the moment. But it's worth thinking about for sure. Thank you for being a member for 6 months, Zia Spots. Have you seen the footage of this shooting? No, I don't really want to seek out... what? Why? Okay, genuine question. Why? Why would I want to look at the final moments of a dying man in the aftermath of an assassination? Why? What do I get out of that? And how would me watching that be useful to you guys? I saw a screenshot of part of it, and that was enough for me. Fuentes had to pivot on Kirk. He'd been calling him a race traitor and a fascist, etc. for a while. Also, Loomer's rant about Kirk the last weekend. Oh, we'll talk about that, Vixen, for sure. Like, I just don't know that watching that adds anything to my life outside of, oh, great, I've seen another act of horrific violence. I don't need to do that. If I want to watch horrific violence that's more fun, I'll watch a horror movie. Like, at least that has the virtue of not being actual pain and suffering. And I mean, what you're now seeing though is some of the wildest pivoting on this that I've ever seen in my life, right? So a really kind of a case study in this is what we're seeing from Elon Musk. Elon Musk has been on a rage tear about this assassination since the moment it happened, and he's just been posting like a mad lad. And now that the shooter has been, or the alleged shooter has been caught and taken into custody, and it turns out he's likely one of the far right's guys, well, anything that he can get his hands on, Elon Musk is trying to amplify. So here's a post he reposted on X, the Everything app. And Basil the Great, just some guy, Charlie Kirk killer active in Antifa. It has been revealed that Tyler Robinson was heavily involved in the Antifa movement and was active on their Discord servers. Antifa must be proscribed as a terrorist organization. For too long, they've been allowed to destroy lives. And it's just like, citation needed, actually. You know, like, I have seen no proof of this whatsoever. I haven't seen any proof of this. Yeah, the source is that I made it the fuck up. All of those organized Antifa discords. The very organized anti-fascist Discord movement. You're all familiar with those. I refuse to believe a Mormon 22-year-old white guy whose father was a police officer is a leftist. In Utah. Indeed. Wait, because he was wearing black? Yeah, that is the last thing I wanted to point out here. The reason they chose this photograph is because he's wearing a black shirt. See, he's Antifa. He's wearing black. Going to a goth club? Oh my god, it's an Antifa club. Look at all of these Antifa super soldiers. If you've ever lusted after a big titty goth girlfriend, well, turns out that big titty goth girlfriend was actually an Antifa super soldier. Location compromised. Abort. God, it's truly pathetic attempts at deflection. There's nothing backing up any of these. And we do have to talk about the fact that, well, Laura Loomer has been going absolutely nuts lately as well. As someone in chat earlier pointed out, she was calling Charlie Kirk a race traitor and like someone who needed to be like taken out of the movement. And these thoughts were also echoed and amplified by Nick Fuentes. You know, both of them kind of orbit the same area. And I mean, one of the case studies I wanted to point out here is that how long ago was this? This was last month. She went after Captain Flo Groberg, who won a Medal of Honor for his service because he tackled a suicide bomber and saved lives. And this is what Laura Loomer had to say about this man who, again, I want to really emphasize this, tackled a suicide bomber. There are probably so many people who the Army could honor who have received the Medal of Honor, who could honor who have received the Medal of Honor, but who did the Army choose to honor instead on their social media page under the Trump administration? Florent Groberg, a Democrat who spoke at the 2016 DNC where he campaigned against Trump in support of Hillary Clinton and was praised by Obama. You'd think the U.S. Army of all places would actually invest in some proper vetting, but nope. Inadequacy, screw-ups, and zero political knowledge of anything in the Trump era is totally accepted by many in this administration. Under Army Secretary Dan Driscoll, there have been several instances of either him or the Army promoting anti-Trump leftists on their official social media channels. Remember the Vindman screw-up? Are we supposed to believe the Army couldn't find a Republican and U.S.-born soldier? They had to find an immigrant who voted for Hillary Clinton and spoke at the DNC as Obama's guest. And I gotta, again, this was a man who tackled a suicide bomber to save other troops. And he responded, "Oh boy, 13 years ago today is my alive day. The day I nearly lost my life and 4 of my brothers, including 3 Army leaders, never came home. I've served under presidents from both parties and will always honor my oath to this country. Yes, I spoke for 60 seconds at the DNC when asked about service and sacrifice, not politics. For me, 8-8 isn't about parties, it's about the lives we lost. Thank you for your service. It is truly appreciated, but your comments are ignorant. I've seen your speech from the DNC. You said Hillary Clinton would make our country safer and that she would defeat ISIS. You almost died in a suicide bombing, and you blame ISIS and other Islamic jihadists for killing your fellow soldiers. Shouldn't you also be informed about the fact that Hillary Clinton and Barack Hussein Obama literally created and funded ISIS? As Trump said in 2016, no, I meant he's Obama, the founder of ISIS. I do. He was the most valuable player. I give him the most valuable player award. I give her too, by the way, Hillary Clinton." I love that she directly quotes Trump and it's just incomprehensible garbage. You know who actually did eradicate ISIS until Joe Biden's lack of leadership brought them back? Donald Trump, the man you campaigned against. Captain Flo Groberg, a second tour Kunar veteran who was in charge of security for the patrol, spotted one of the bombers and tackled him, absorbing part of the explosion, saving 2 top American officials in the party. Groberg's heroic act earned him a Medal of Honor. But he nearly lost his own leg in the process. I don't know, trying to argue that, a man who tackled a suicide bomber doesn't embody, a spirit of, loyalty and sacrifice. That's crazy. That is crazy. But I use this example to really demonstrate that Laura Loomer's been on just an insane power trip lately. And here is a post that she deleted, by the way. She went back and deleted this after the assassination took place because she knew how bad this post made her look. I don't ever want to hear Charlie Kirk claim he is pro-Trump ever again. After this weekend, I'd say he has revealed himself as a political opportunist, and I have had a front row seat to witness the mental gymnastics these last 10 years. Lately, Charlie has decided to behave like a charlatan, claiming to be pro-Trump one day while he stabs Trump in the back the next. TPUSA was only able to thrive thanks to the generosity of President Trump. On the 1-year anniversary of the assassination attempt on Trump's life, Charlie hosted comic Dave Smith at TPUSA's SAS conference, where Dave Smith was able to speak to a bunch of conservative youth at an organization that claims to be pro-Trump. 3 weeks ago, Dave Smith called for President Trump to be impeached and removed from office over his decision to blow up Iran's nuclear facilities. Charlie played both sides of the Iran issue, and now he has... on his show, as we all saw, because he wants to play both sides of the aisle. The honorable thing to do is to have a position and actually defend it to the death instead of flip-flopping. Smith said all MAGA should turn on Trump and abandon him. He said this 3 weeks ago. See the clip below. Turning Point USA is definitely not pro-Trump. If they were, they certainly aren't anymore. Out of all the incredible pro-Trump voices out there who support the president, Charlie decided to host Dave Smith. Really is shameful, and I'm honestly just disgusted by the nonstop flip-flopping right now. Charlie speaks out of both sides of his mouth. 1 minute he says Islam is incompatible with the West, then he's talking about how amazing Tucker is, who thinks Qatar is one of our biggest allies. But wait, I thought Islam was incompatible with the West. The next minute he's telling people on his show that Trump is going to get us into a big messy war with Iran. Then he says he never said it. Then he's talking about how he's an evangelical. Then he's giving Tucker Carlson a hero's welcome 1 week after he ran a propaganda piece for the president of Iran, who claimed Iran has never killed a U.S. citizen, while Tucker calls some of President Trump's biggest supporters dual agents because Tucker is an uppity, entitled, waspy snob who proclaimed his hatred for Trump in texts that everyone has seen. Charlie Kirk's messaging is all over the place, and some of us just want to know where he actually stands. It's different every day, and really... Who are you to tell me what I can and can't attack? It's called having principles, and trust me, I'm not the only one who's fed up with the nonstop gaslighting. He says whatever he needs to say depending on who he's in front of. That's not leadership. Basically, you want me to stay quiet instead of calling out Tucker's anti-American crusade and his paranoid incitement because he got a taste of Muslim investor money. I'm not going to censor myself. The flip-flopping has reached peak insanity. And like, in Griper World, this, I mean, this resonated. This resonated. People who follow Nick Fuentes and watch his content, like, it resonated with them. And I think that Laura Loomer knows that, and that's why she deleted these tweets. We are in a wacky time, folks. A wacky time. And, I mean, by all accounts, the shooter has been typically considered not political, but considered not political, like, by everything I have read so far, Tyler Robinson was not considered political by his family or others who knew him. He was considered instead very online. He was considered recently far more politically aware and active. But he was active, again, online. Yes, alleged assassin. Sorry. But there's a lot of misinformation flying around right now. Some folks are claiming that Tyler Robinson did donations to Trump. As far as I'm aware, like, Tyler hasn't donated to any candidate. Like, Tyler doesn't seem to have been active in any public or not public, public facing campaigns, like for a candidate or anything like that. He didn't volunteer his time in any of those ways. But it seems like the ways in which he was politically active were confined to online far-right communities. People have gone through various photographs of him, one of which includes him at like the age of like 14 or 15 being in like wearing a costume where like a costume that is made to look like Donald Trump is giving you a piggyback ride. very famously, he's also photographed doing the Slavic squat meme that was popularized in like the 2010s. Got turned into like a quasi Groiper meme. It's not. It kind of escaped containment into the broader culture after a time. So none of these are exactly smoking guns as to like his political. Yeah, gopnicking, exactly. Lily loves stuff. You understand. And I mean, like, there are claims going around that he was a member of DSA. DSA National has put out a statement saying that nope, no, the fuck he was not, essentially. And he did donate to a Trump PAC. I have a screenshot. It's only like $208. He did not, in fact, donate to that PAC. I've seen that screenshot. That refers to a Tyler Robinson that lives in the same area code, but it is not the same Tyler Robinson. There are two Tyler Robinsons that live in that area code. The one who did the donation is not him. So there, again, a lot of misinformation is going around. A lot of people are jumping to conclusions, but it's not substantiated quite enough. Yeah, people were going around online trying to claim that a member of DSA was the shooter. They used a picture of like one of the chapter heads in a DSA shirt to claim that, oh look, it's him, and it's just it's not the same guy at all. God. Also, there is no voting record for Tyler Robinson. He didn't vote the last couple of elections when he was able to. And on one of the other theories that is currently flying around is that he went to college. Tyler Robinson is 22. That he went to college and got radicalized. He was one of those people who went off to, he came from a good conservative family. Then he went off to college, and then they broke his mind. Except that he went to college for one semester and then dropped out. So that doesn't really hold water. So they are desperate right now, and it's just not backed up by any of this. There's also claims of a quote from Tyler Robinson about Kirk was full of hate and spreading hate. That quote seems to have come from a not Tyler Robinson himself, but from one of his family members who was interviewed. So there are a number of things that are circulating right now that are just not substantiated, or are misinterpretations of things that might seem at first blush to be true. So I want to caution folks from jumping to too many conclusions here. That being said, one thing that is absolutely verifiable is that he came from a family that was very, very gun oriented. I mean, like, we're talking like children holding guns as big as they are oriented, you know? And it seems to me like maybe there is some kind of connection here between far-right online radicalization and an extreme adherence to guns being readily available. Seems like there's some kind of relationship there. And it's just... Oh, yeah, here's the... I'm trying to crop out the names of his family, because I feel like that is unnecessary. But here's the picture of him doing the Gopnik squat. You know, I don't know if that's terribly interesting to anyone. But... Oh, and here you go. Like, it's a reference to this meme. So, I guess where I'm at here is that if people are looking at this and the memes being carved on the bullets instantly tip off the entire Groyper community, and they're like, oh shit, it's one of our guys. Oh, and Nick Fuentes immediately shuts down and like says, oh, guys, violence isn't what we're about, ha ha ha. And Laura Loomer is deleting her tweets. I would say that this does not look like a leftist. At the very least, I am willing to say this guy is not a leftist. And to me, if I had to put money on it, I would say that this guy was a far-right Groyper, radicalized by folks like Nick Fuentes against Charlie Kirk. And it's, I think this is a situation where we have someone who was essentially a fascistic nihilist who believed, you know, kind of like a lot of mass shooters, that like nothing really matters, you know, it's all just a joke. And also, you know, I'm gonna play some team sports because this guy that we thought was on our side turned out not to be on our side. You know, I like people in these communities feel like like they push each other. They push each other to perform acts of bigotry and violence in their real lives. That's kind of what these communities are all about. It's nudging one another until one of them actually does something. And could be that this comes from like a very warped sense of justice. Could be that this comes from like just a burning hatred of the fact that Charlie Kirk has sold out in order to kowtow to, you know, foreign like Islamic money, you know, like that's how these people think, right? They look at this and they're like, Charlie Kirk, you are capitulating to the Jewish cabal that runs the world. Charlie Kirk, you are capitulating to, you know, the Muslim investors in Qatar. And like, this is all just to them team sports. And they view this, when they buy all of this garbage, hook, line, and sinker, all of this conspiratorial nonsense, they start thinking about it in terms of he has betrayed our race. He has betrayed our truth, and he has become a liability that must be removed. This is, you know, I'm simplifying here, but like, I think that this is all very interesting. And yes, Laura Loomer did delete her tweet on Wednesday, Amber Brains, and I think she does want to just not look bad. But also she occupies the same spaces that Nick Fuentes does, and he's putting out his statement against nonviolence today. The fact that like Laura Loomer was railing against Charlie Kirk for a while now, and I have some unconfirmed reports that the shooter may have followed Laura Loomer. Again, unconfirmed. But I mean, this seems... I mean, this is just how I see it. This is far-right on far-right violence. Because to the far right, Charlie Kirk seemed like a moderate. You know? Charlie Kirk is a far-right fascist, but like... Or was a far-right fascist. But like, to these people in like the Nick Fuentes community... they view themselves as farther right and truly fascistic. They view themselves as like, you know, real America. Typical right on right violence. Where are the dads? Good question. And this is going to be very inconvenient for the conservative movement going forward. If it turns out that the conservative movement actually cares about any of the facts surrounding this shooter. Now, my hunch is that they are going to suddenly get real quiet about this guy and real quiet about this case and try and move on. Or you're going to get some hangers on who are going to like be like, no, guys, no, like, yeah, look, the shooter used a bunch of 4chan memes and you know, is was very into Nick Fuentes and like all of the Nazi shit that Nick Fuentes says. But like, no, he's actually a lefty. Haha. Like that's what's going to happen for some of the commentators on this, and the others are just going to quietly move on. And I guess we'll see how this progresses, but I'll keep you all updated as we go forward. Yeah, super secret Antifa soldier. Yeah. It blew my mind to learn that people on the right consider Charlie Kirk far too moderate or normal, but here we are. Yeah, I mean, you have to understand that, like, to the folks who watch, you know, Charlie Kirk and folks like Nick Fuentes, they view when Charlie Kirk talks about stoning gay people being like God's perfect law and how we should adopt that like in our country. These folks, these far right individuals look at that and they go, "Huh, we shouldn't just stone to death you know, the gays. We also should stone to death, you know, women who have sex outside of marriage. We should also like they want to go like several steps further, right? Like and honestly, they often don't have coherent ideology. Like they don't have like an idea of how things would work in their world. They just want to kill their enemies. That's kind of the only thing they have. They believe in kind of the catharsis of death. And it's why these communities are so prone to this type of violence. So, all of that being said, I think we've finished up this segment. That's all I know for now. I'll keep you updated as I learn more. But it's been a very wild day when it comes to everything that's happened. It's been a complete 180 since yesterday when they had nothing. And it is only because his own father seemingly inadvertently turned him in that all this is coming out. So with that, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Do the things that help the channel. And I will see you next time. Look at that. We finished a segment, baby. Are there any anagrams of Tyler Robinson that could reveal a secret code name? Not that I know of. Let's see. They used Charlie's death to cover for a vote to not release the Epstein files. I mean, I don't think that this was planned. This 22-year-old kid does not strike me as like a government agent. You know? Sadly, it's already over. I mean, not the stream. We're going to keep going with the stream. The segment's done, but we have more segments. Now, folks, if you've been enjoying the show, hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and consider dropping those subs, donos, memberships, super chats, etc. Because, folks, when we hit 100 subs, I'm gonna spin this here wheel, this wheel of pain, and we're gonna learn about something on this wheel. We're gonna experience some things together, folks. And oh, what wonders I have arranged to show you all. Let's go. The Wheel of Pain! And a couple good things, too. But it's cooler to call it the Wheel of Pain! Is there a possibility we will ever hear from the shooter himself? I mean, he's going to be in court, so maybe. Spinning so slow? I haven't spun it yet. You guys need to get like 30, not 30, Jesus. 73 more subs. I believe in you guys, but we gotta sub up. Good night, Gamer G. Get good sleep. Your Ascended Kitten, thank you for the $10 dono. Very, very much appreciated. Let's go! Anonymous Gifter, thank you for the 5 Tier 1 subs. Let's fucking go, folks! So that brings us to 34, I believe. Hell yeah, let's go! I missed the segment too. Might go back later. What was the right-wing explanation for the Bella Ciao one? It is on a playlist for Groypers on Spotify. It's one of the songs that they play on their Groyper Spotify playlist. Two Dad Smoochin', thank you for the 2 Tier 1 subs. Very much appreciated. Oh, and also, Bella Ciao is in a Helldivers 2 mod, which might be pertinent considering that the shooter referenced Helldivers 2 on one of the other bullets.
Here's to brain rot we.
Oui. Oui, oui, ho, ho. Oh, brain rot, ho, ho. I am confused. About what? Maybe I can ease the fusion. Aw, the other day my husband saw me watching a video of you and told me to tell you you look beautiful, and I said I would tell you next time the stream, and this is me doing that. Everyday love, thank you. And thank you to your husband too. I appreciate it. Especially because I'm just kind of bedraggled because I was hoping to do like a gaming stream tonight, but we'll see. We'll see what's in the cards. Maybe we won't hit 100 subs and like I'll play a video game. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Ryan, my understanding is that interview is that a family member said Kirk was full of hate and was spreading hate. that quote is attributed to the family member, not Tyler Robinson. Hey, Regalicus guess. Oh man, you are challenging my ability to pronounce chatter names. Regalicus Glesne. Regalicus Glesne. You don't look bedraggled, you look comfy and cozy casual. That is what I was going for. It's true.
Rat is this. The rats are all like this. The rat goes like this. So the rat's like this. The normal rat is like this. That's the normal rat. Like this, like this. It sniffs. It's like this for quite a while. He's like this. And then maybe he sniffs. You are now a normal rat.
Everyone do the normal rat. It's time to rat. It's time to rat. You are now a normal rat. It's time to rat. It's time to rat. It's time to rat, 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 rat. It's time to rat. That's the normal rat. I've been like this all week. I'm a normal rat. I'm so confused. It's okay. Did you see the horrific thing Kilmeade said earlier? You're going to have to be more specific because Brian Kilmeade says a horrible thing once every 2 minutes. Normal rat. A normal rat. I'm going to have that stuck in my head all night. You guys have no idea. Because I have no fucking idea. What have I done? What have I done? Also, have I lost the host? I did. Let me set this back up and we'll move right along. In the meantime, folks, have you clicked the button? Have you hit the follow button? Have you hit the subscribe button? Have you hit the like button? Hitting these buttons, believe it or not, has been scientifically proven to increase stream effectiveness.
Jordan Peterson is clearly a ratman. How would be fair against Curtis Sliva?
I would pay good money to see a cage match against those two squaring off. Thank you for the $10 dono. Appreciated. Folks, we're at 38. Inching up there. It's time, folks. Click that goddamn button. We've been going for 2.5 hours. Go, go, go. Click a button. Click a button. Click a button. Click the goddamn button. Click a button. Click a button. Click a button. Click the goddamn button. Click a button. Click a button. Click a button. Click the goddamn button. Click a button. Click a button. Click a button. Click the goddamn button. Click a button. Click a button. Click a button. Click the goddamn button. Click a button. Click a button. Click a button. Click the goddamn button. Click a button. Click a button. Click a button. Click the goddamn button. Click a button. Click a button. Click a button. Click the goddamn button. Click button. Click button. Click button. Click that goddamn button. And to the chatter who was talking about the quote from attributed to Robinson, it's from this. Investigators interviewed a family member of Robinson who stated that Robinson had become more political in recent years. The family member referenced a recent incident in which Robinson came to dinner prior to September 10th, and in the conversation with another family member, Robinson mentioned that Charlie Kirk was coming to UVU. They, Tyler Robinson and family member, talked about why they didn't like him and the viewpoints that he had. The family member, i.e. not Tyler Robinson, also stated Kirk was full of hate and spreading hate. So we actually don't get a ton of what Tyler Robinson thought of Charlie Kirk other than he didn't like him. Knifeiest Duck, I really appreciate that you guys understand the VHS series. The Ratma short is one of the best. Let's see here. How we doing? It's a me, Mario. Indeed. Hard not to hate perverted child molesters like yourself? Sir, this is a Wendy's. You know, like, what, what the fuck? Did I see there's a new Creepy Sheep clips? No, I didn't. They're too creepy. They're too creepy. What? We got a chud? We always have chuds. You know, oddly enough, they like to name themselves after, like, comic book supervillains, and then they paint themselves as, like, the good guys in any given interaction. It's... honestly, it's kind of funny. VHS 94 is, I think, one of the best VHS collections. I'm the Joker, baby, for 2069. Doc Kaiju, thank you for being a member. I appreciate you. Folks, we're almost 2/5 of the way there. Look at you go. Are you hyped for VHS Halloween? Always. Always. I'm really looking forward to watching more like horror movies as we get closer to the fall season. It's been a while since I've had a good like horror movie binge. Hey, Gore Monkey. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yeah, no manifesto from this shooter. I think the shooter really intended not to be caught. Playing some Darkwood and it's too scary. Darkwood is scary. Whew. oh, whoa, what's this? Is a manifesto? What are you talking about? Oh, God. Have you played Cult of the Lamb? I have played a bit of Cult of the Lamb, but I've been intending for a long, long time. Literal years to go back and finish it, because I do enjoy the chat interaction. Ooh, Bucks RC, if you like the Blair Witch project, you should check out Noroi the Curse. It's one of my favorite. I watch it every spooky season. It's one of my favorite found footage horror movies. It's so fucking good. If you guys don't have any idea what I'm talking about, here. It's just so it's good. It's so good. This is my #1 horror recommendation for as we get closer to spooky month. Here's the trailer. The creator of Norway the Curse vanishes mysteriously after its completion. Broadcasting canceled.
アンガールズです。今日はですね、心霊スポットでありますとある神社に向かって大丈夫ですか、まり方。いやー、ちょっとあっち。それじゃあみんなで行こう。今なんか聞こえてすごいたくさんいる気がする。なんか見えるの？いや、見えるわけじゃなくて。
その気持ち悪い声っていうのは私は赤ちゃんのなんでそんな言い方ができる
みんなにはね、投資をやってもらいます。
気がついたらその模様を描いちゃってるんですよ。
東京都練馬区にある広沼公園で
視察しました。
かぐたばの呪いかぐたばことをかぐたばとかぐたばってなんだ
かぐたば
呪いさっきなんか映像がおかしくなったんですけど
It's so fucking good. That trailer undersells it incredibly. It's really, really good. Yeah, it's over on Shudder. Is this gonna make me piss my pants? Should I close my eyes? I mean, if I don't know. I don't know your piss pants vital signs. I actually met the Blair Witch once. Great lady. Niche interest in some pretty odd cuisine. I need a new vampire movie. I feel like I've seen a good vampire movie recently. Next horror flick on my list is Skinamarink. Okay, either you are going to fucking hate it, or it's going to be an incredibly stressful watch. Always. Oh, Sinners is like top tier. Yeah. Amber Brains, if you haven't seen Sinners, you should watch Sinners. Also, folks, please do consider supporting the stream because you guys make this show possible. Could not do it without you guys. I'm my Bezos checks and my Soros checks and my checks from the various Illuminati groups haven't cleared yet. So until then, you guys support the show. Ugh. Have I seen Weapons yet? No, I want to. It looks really good. I liked Barbarian because it was so weird. I feel like Barbarian was kind of clunky in its structure and like deeply weird in its ideas, but like it fucking delivered. You're still on the Soros payroll? Yeah, you know, when I started this 5 years ago, Soros promised me regular checks. I have yet to receive
One of my
one.
#1 found footage suggestions to watch is Lake Mungo. Go in blind though.
Oh, Lake Mungo is phenomenal. Lake Mungo is phenomenal stuff. Thank you for the $5 dono. You got us to 40. Let's go, chat.
And now you have a tier. White names must end.
It's true. Pluvius, thank you for gifting Gore Monkey a sub. That's very kind of you. We must, of course, we must, of course, replace all white names. It's time for me to call for a great replacement of white names in chat. They'll still be the same people, though. Like, we're not getting rid of any people. A girl walks home alone. Oh, that's so... Oh, shit. I can't remember. What is it called? There's a vampire movie I've been wanting to see for a hot minute. What is it called? Oh, I think it's called Afflicted. Yeah. Here we go. This is another, like, decent vampire movie suggestion. And I haven't seen it, but everyone who's seen it has told me it's pretty interesting.
All right, I'm Cliff Rose.
And I'm Derek Lee, and tomorrow we're going on a year-long trip around the world!
We're going to film the entire thing. We're going to post it online as a travel blog.
It's gonna be epic.
Oh my God, Derek! Oh my God!
Get in the ambulance, Cliff! We gotta get out of here!
You are under arrest.
Let's go! I don't want to stop the trip.
You're freaking me out right now. Just stop! We should be at the hospital.
There is nothing they can do.
Let's just go home.
No, we're not going home. We're not going anywhere.
I have no idea what's going on with Derek.
Okay, I am at 60 kilometers an hour! Wow!
But what he did should be impossible. Derek, how do you think this happened?
I don't know. I need to find Audrey. It starts with her.
Are you okay?
I feel fine. We're about to bust in on Derek and the girl he just picked up.
Call an ambulance. Wake up! Call an ambulance! What happened?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Like, I have a lot of potentially misplaced affection for low budget horror movies that are trying to punch above their weight, and this definitely falls into that category. But I've heard like good things about it, and I'm kind of like, I think it could be a really fun low budget vampire movie, you know? Why are they doing some parkour shit? I mean, it was 2013. Parkour was cool. Grave Encounters is very fun, true. Okay, we're okay. We're a little too far afield. Let's rein it back in. Let's rein it back in. Found footage is interesting. It is. It's often like used for terrible schlock, but when it's done right, it's really, really fun, you know? One of my guilty pleasure, like, comfort horror movies is As Above, So Below. I really wish they had continued to make those in, like, the vein of, like, what if Indiana Jones, but, like, horror shit happens? I think that has an amazing amount of potential. And they just never... They just never, like, followed up on it, and that seems like a shame, but, you know. Oh yeah, Gore Monkey, White Forest, does a lot of the website work. Have I ever played the first Amnesia game? Yes, and it's scary as fuck. Scary as fuck. Give me an As Above, So Below / National Treasure crossover with Nick Cage. That would be so good. It'd be so fucking good. Yeah, the pyramid, the pyramid was not good. The pyramid was a very not good movie. As Above, So Below reminds me of an ex. Hey.
Jack speaks for 3 hours, and no batteries, sharks, magnets, windmills, Bitcoin, Hannibal Lecter, or Arnold Palmer's junk. I demand a refund.
It's true. I do apologize for being overly coherent. Sorry, you're blue. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Very much appreciated. Is there a VOD of me playing Amnesia? No, I think it's actually pre-me streaming politics. I'm not opposed to, like, revisiting it and trying to play through it again. I never beat the game because I was just too... I was too scared. I was too scared. It's too scary. Okay. Anyway. Let's resume our journey here. Do-do-do. As above, so below, the Shakespearean way to say the carpet matches the drapes. Hey, it's true. Yeah, The Void is great. Color Out of Space. Annihilation. Wonderful Lovecraftian films. Okay. Y'all ready to move on? Y'all ready for this? Oh, Dagon, fuck, Snifiest Duck. Hell yeah. Are you a chick with a dick? If you give me $100, I'll answer your question.
Might be a bit zoomer of me, but SCP was always fun.
SCP is fun. Balls Deep 6969, thank you for the $5 super chat. Very much appreciated. Yeah, every time... Nah, I'm done. Let's see here. Trans streamer cited. Commencing Dick Inquisition. Chapter 1. Subject has banned me from her chat. I will attempt another information gathering expedition. There's a Dagon film? There's a Dagon film. Okay. Shit like that is why I won't come out. You know, I gotta be completely honest with you. Shit like that does not faze me. Like, it probably should, but I've gotten questions like that for so long that I'm just kind of like, all right. Because it tells you so much more about the person asking the question than me getting asked it tells anyone anything, you know? They only reveal their whole ass to you. And I do mean that sometimes literally. Why is that the first thing they think about? It's because they're trying to decide if they want to fuck you or not. Like, genuinely, that's the reason they ask. They are asked to, their goal is to be rude dickheads, but they also, in the process of being rude dickheads, want to figure out if it's okay for them to, like, think of you as, like, a sex object. They're all gooners. You know, like the people who spend time to like go into like trans people's like spaces and trans people's chats to ask questions like that, they're all gooning the entire time. They might be the most hateful, like spouting the most hateful bigotry you can imagine, but they're gooning the entire time. No one who is filled with that much hate and is going through that much effort to try and express it isn't being driven by some kind of like deep-seated like sexual fixation. Everyday harassment for trans people who stream online, call it Friday. Indeed. I don't understand the desire to be angry while getting off. Well, okay, sounds like it would ruin the experience. Okay, but counterpoint, y'all have heard of hate fucking, right? Like a couple argues and then they have sex with each other. Like that's like a thing people talk about.
Fascism is rooted in sexual insecurity. People coming into chat asking that are basically just saying, please don't look at mine. I'm scared.
Indeed. And I don't get it. Yeah, I mean, I don't get it either. It's not at all my thing, but like I know it is a thing for some people. Anger sex can be fun with the right person. I see, and I don't get that. Like I don't know. I just don't get it. But you know, no hate on people who do that consensually. It's just like the extra weird part is that they want to hate goon to me non-consensually. Also, I don't think I updated the number after you dropped that $5 dono, Pluvius. Thank you so goddamn much. Folks, we're getting close to halfway. But also, I think it is time to do a reaction. Are you guys ready for our next segment? Thank you for bravely putting yourself out there for us, despite the harassment. I can't even imagine the crap trans people get online. Yeah, the death and rape threats are a lot. Not gonna lie. You know, the sexual harassment is a lot. But you know, life goes on, and I'm not gonna let that stop me. Whew. Okay, here we go. So, oh wait, let's do this. Burp. There we go. So, folks, I was trying to formulate some thoughts about Charlie Kirk and about how about the valorizing of him, the attempt to turn him into a martyr. I talked about this yesterday and also the day of, as it was already beginning to happen. And one of the things I was finding difficulty kind of putting two and two together here is that what happened to Charlie Kirk, he was assassinated. And I guess what I'm trying to get at here.
Thank you, Jack. You're a real trooper. Smiley face emoji.
Well, Matthew H., thank you for the $10 Australian. Very much appreciated. Thank you, thank you. But what I was trying to put together is like what is the mainstream message going out to like average dudes? Like what is going on out there when it comes to the messaging as it's filtering through and kind of reaching people throughout our country, right? And I guess I was looking for folks who were putting their thoughts on YouTube, and I came across this account, and I feel like this is maybe indicative of where certain conservative folks are at this particular point in time. And this caught my eye because as I was going and looking for various takes, this stood out to me for being a specifically like, well, a channel that's very specifically oriented not towards politics. And it seemed to have a very charged presentation. And it's a video by a channel called That Star Wars Girl. I've never seen anything from them before. And the title of the video is First Irina and Now Charlie Kirk. And I believe Irina is the name of the woman who was stabbed to death on the train. And I don't know, like, making a parallel between these two things seems bizarre, but let's check this out. I'm interested to see. I don't know that somebody who's making a video like this is representative of, like, an average conservative-leaning person in America. Is she, like, a known troll? I don't know anything about this account. But either way, I'm gonna take a look at what she had to say.
Up all my Ewoks, Tribbles, Droids, and Wookiees. It's Anna, also known as That Star Wars Girl. And this is a video I never thought I would make because, as you guys know, if you guys have been following my channel for a long time, I am very against politics and talking politics, especially here on my channel. And I've kept my views very much to myself. And that's because I always stood by that Star Wars is for everyone, and it doesn't matter what background you come from, that anyone in the world can watch Star Wars and enjoy it. So that was one of the big reasons why I didn't want to talk politics on my channel, because I felt like it would alienate people. And again, I was just talking Star Wars, and I really don't find any interest in talking politics. But the past 48 hours and really like the past few weeks have really been eye-opening to me, and I cannot believe the amount of people that I've seen celebrating murder, celebrating the assassination of another human being. Now, this is a person I never knew, never met. I didn't even follow him, but he was so popular that somebody who avoids politics like the plague, saw posts from him. You know, he would go viral all the time. And I mean, if you disagree with someone on the internet, that doesn't mean they deserve to die. And the other day when I turned on my computer and I saw the first video, which was the close-up video, I saw someone sitting there having an open conversation with other human beings that do not agree with him. And he was just sitting there having a conversation, and the next thing you see is a bullet go through his neck and his blood squirt out like the sprinklers just started. And it was beyond appalling. And then
maybe a rephrasing of that would be great. Like, the sprinklers just started is a interesting way to describe this. Now, I agree so far that, like, yes, people should be able to have civil disagreements online. Absolutely.
Guys, stop cheering. There were husbands and fathers on that Death Star.
Thank you for the $5 dono, DJ Durza.
The other angles came out, and now, of course, the videos have come out of the shooter, and he was the guy on the roof, that other old crazy guy who had bomb threats for some marathon that was taking place. There was a distraction, and it kept the police busy while the shooter was able to escape. And as I'm filming this right now, he is still at large. But the fact that I am talking about this just shows how bad things have gotten, because, I mean, I'm embarrassed to be a human when there's other humans going out there on TikTok being like, yay! Like, I can't even make the face because
I will say, don't look up the video. If you haven't seen it, don't look it up. Don't seek it out. It is going to traumatize you. It is a human being shot, and blood is everywhere. It's not, again, don't seek it out, letting you know. And like, I know that there are a bunch of people who are in my comments every time I say that are like, it's not that bad, but like, I don't know, like if I want to see blood and gore, I watch a horror movie where it's not real, you know? There's a difference to me in the fact that on the one hand, like a Saw movie is special effects and not actual human pain.
I'm so disgusted by this. Like, I can't smiling like that. Like, it disgusts me. There's people out there cheering like for glee, like they're a little kid that just went to Disneyland for the first time. They found out they're going to Disneyland, that they got to go meet Santa Claus. Like, that's how people are responding to another human being being murdered. And I have heard over and over again, well, he's racist, he's homophobic, he is a Nazi. And it's like, I am so sick and tired of people throwing out the word Nazi. Do you know who else has been called a Nazi? Me. I have been called a fat, white, misogynistic man baby that lives in my mother's basement. Do I look like a fat, misogynistic man baby? No. So as someone that has been called every single name under the freaking sun, when I see people...
But like, also, why, like, yeah, people call people things that aren't true all the time, but Charlie Kirk was a fascist. And like, you can get real technical and say, well, he didn't support, you know, the National Socialist Party in Germany in the 1940s. Like, yeah, but he was a fascist. In a modern context, he aligns far more closely with neo-Nazis than almost any other group in our political discourse. You know? So, all I'm saying is, the argument that, like, people have said mean things to you that aren't true doesn't reflect on Charlie Kirk. Like, these have nothing to do with one another. Now, I can say, like, that people saying that to you might give you more of a reason to be like, well, I haven't looked up anything, but all these people are saying mean things about Charlie Kirk, and people have said mean things about me, and they're not true about me, so clearly they're not true about Charlie Kirk. And, like, that seems like very flawed reasoning to me.
People throwing that out there at someone, not stating a single fact. They're not quoting him. If he said something so racist, something so appalling, like something so misogynistic, can you tell me what it was? I haven't seen a single person actually quote the dude. They're just...
I've quoted the dude extensively. I did it in my original video on this. Again, he talks about how stoning LGBTQ people is God's perfect law, and his entire project was making God's perfect law the law of the United States. He was a Christian nationalist. Like, that was his pet project, right? He has called for children to watch public executions. You know, to be forced to watch public executions. This is a man who, you know, backed expelling people out of the country on the basis of them being, like, Muslims. Or, you know, like, that's the kind of guy he was. So, you can quote that dude, and I would argue that it is best to quote him when you are able to. So, like, if you're making a video essay or something, throwing that up. You know, when I was building up the original essay, not video essay, but like original segment that I did on this live stream, like, I prepped segments with things he said in order to back up my statements. And a lot of people aren't backing up their statements, but a lot of people who are reacting to this aren't content creators either. You know, a lot of people are just reacting with, like, their general raw emotional response to the entire thing. Like, that's That's it. They aren't building a case to try and like convince people. The same way like people who celebrated like, I don't know, the death of Hitler weren't like, well, you see, it's okay for us to celebrate because Hitler said X, Y, and Z. Like, no, they were just like, hell yeah, he's dead. And like, I understand the impulse for some people to do that for Charlie Kirk. I do not feel that impulse to celebrate. Because I think it was a bad thing, and I think it's going to lead to a lot of bad things for a lot of people. But I'm also not going to go out and police other people's reactions to this. That being said, I find this all very interesting. Like, I'm not saying she's wrong for being horrified at seeing people who are upset and traumatized by this. I'm not saying she's wrong for her own reaction to seeing people celebrate the death of someone. I think if you know very little about what is going on, and I grant that I have no idea, I haven't watched this person's videos, but I would wager that like she doesn't know what's going on, and that can be kind of shocking to see a bunch of people celebrating and you don't know much about the person who was killed. And that does come across as really nasty, as really petty and low and gross. Like, if you know nothing other than a human being was assassinated and a bunch of people are celebrating the assassination, that seems really fucked, right? And so all of that, not saying she's wrong for feeling any of those things. But what gets me in every single one of these videos or these op-eds that are valorizing Charlie Kirk or trying to do some of what she's doing here is that they never talk about what he said, right? Like, she's like, well, I don't understand why people are angry, but they never actually quote the dude. And it's like, well, why aren't you quoting the dude here? Like, you could ask some of them, like, what are some of the things Charlie Kirk has said that you are so vehemently opposed to? And they would happily tell you. I want to know if these people celebrated the death of Osama bin Laden. I was in college then, and people were getting free drinks and shit. It was a party. Yeah.
Repeating these buzzwords. People have called me every single name under the sun. I was called racist and dragged by a certain portion of Twitter because I tweeted LOL. Yeah, I'm serious. I've done videos
about what? Like, I can you post a screenshot of that? Because I'm pretty sure if you got on any social media website and just typed LOL, no one would care. It would just be like less traffic on that tweet, I guess, than the other ones. But like, what were you laughing out loud to? Like, what's the context?
on it. You can go find them here on my channel. So when I see that, I'm just like, I don't believe you unless you bring the receipts. And the fact that so many people are celebrating this, and I have seen people also post the fact that, oh, well, I don't have to have empathy for him because he said he didn't believe in empathy. And I've seen the quote. You didn't watch the entire thing if that is what you got from it, okay? And if you want to do the whole, oh, there's no empathy, can't you have a compassion for another human being? That's somebody's child. That's somebody's cousin.
I mean, again, let's just take a quick look here. The same people who lecture you about empathy have none for the soldiers discharged for the jab, the children mutilated by big medicine, or the lives devastated by fentanyl pouring over the border. Spare me your fake outrage, your fake science, and your fake moral superiority. Odd. But, let's see. What about other things he might have said about this? Oh, here's the direct video.
And so there's some really good polling out of Alaska that shows that Kelly Shabaka is gaining on Lisa Murkowski and is in a very, very good position despite the unconstitutional, immoral, incredibly complicated rank choice voting system. Never should have been approved. It's silly. It's backwards. It's rigged. It's awful. So the new communication strategy for Democrats, now that their polling advantage is collapsing in every single state, it's collapsing in Ohio, it's collapsing even in Arizona. It is now a race where Blake Masters is in striking distance. Kerry Lake is doing very, very well. The new communication strategy is not to do what Bill Clinton used to do, where he would say, I feel your pain. Instead, it is to say, you're actually not in pain. So let's just, very short clip. Bill Clinton in the 1990s, it was all about empathy and sympathy. I can't stand the word empathy, actually. I think empathy is a made-up New Age term that does a lot of damage, but it is very effective when it comes to politics. Sympathy I prefer more than empathy. That's a separate topic for a different time. Here's cut.
I'm sorry, the context around that is he, as an aside, said that empathy is a made-up New Age term. Like, that is the context. But okay.
That somebody's brother, that somebody's husband. He's a parent. I also saw the video.
So is Joseph Goebbels. Goebbels had kids. You shedding tears for Goebbels? Nah. But again, if you don't know anything about what Charlie Kirk has said, like, okay, maybe those are compelling reasons to care about a stranger. But I think that there is context here that is important for how people are reacting to this.
Where he's sitting there and he just finished doing a show and his little girl just runs into his arms. And I'm just like, oh my God. I just had a baby, so that stuff is probably hitting me harder than it would have in the past before I became a parent. But I'm just so disgusted by what the world has become, to where people are like, I couldn't even imagine. Like, that's embarrassing. You're happy that someone died? You should be ashamed of yourself. Absolutely ashamed of yourself. Like, this guy wasn't a murderer. He didn't go out and kill people. He didn't go out and physically harm people. All this dude did...
Neither did Joseph Goebbels. And yet...
did was talk and sit there and have open debates with people. He didn't even charge them for it. He would just show up, set up his little booth, and set up some microphones and some cameras and just talk.
Huh, that's really strange. How did Charlie Kirk, if he didn't charge for all of this, get his money? Where did the money that he got, like, where did the money come from? Oh, that's right. He was paid by some of the wealthiest people on the planet in order to have hit the political positions he had, and in order to spread them. He was a paid propagandist. He was good at the propaganda, but he was a paid propagandist. Oh, I found the no, Salmon Moose found the tweet, by the way. Nope actress Kiki Palmer has expressed interest in joining the MCU following a recent fan casting of her as Rogue. Come on, agent. And lol. Yeah, I mean, like, what's the joke? What's the joke you're laughing at? I wonder.
And if you're embarrassed because he would win at these debates...
It's true, the joke's the racism. You got it, Gay Fesh.
...because he knew the statistics, then do a little bit of research and memorize some statistics before you go and face off someone like that. You know, it just drives me crazy. I cannot believe that this is what we've come to. As the human race, this is what it really is.
Well, yeah. I mean, the guy kept calling for, like, marginalized groups of people to be eliminated from society by using and weaponizing the state. Like, that's why he was a Christian nationalist. He was calling for massive amounts of suffering to be inflicted upon marginalized people who disagree with him. That's one of the reasons you're seeing so much celebration from people who have lived for the last 15 years, having to listen to this guy talk about how they deserve to be brutalized by the state and brutalized by, vigilantes in a wide variety of different ways. And he's called for that either implicitly or explicitly. Look, I'm not saying I'm celebrating it. I'm not. But I can at least understand how some people viewed Charlie Kirk and why they would come to, why they would have, that emotional response. I don't think it's actually that difficult to understand.
Now, we're celebrating murder.
I mean, Charlie Kirk literally called for a publicly funded attempt to get the would-be killer of Nancy Pelosi and the man who bashed Paul Pelosi's skull in with a hammer to get him out of prison because he thought it was funny. So, seems like we're really glossing over a lot of aspects that might explain some people's emotional reaction to the news.
We're celebrating assassination. I remember back when the president, before he became the president again, when people were upset because that psycho kid missed, and then that other dude at the golf course. Now, again, I don't like following politics.
But both of those people, by the way, were conservatives. They weren't. They might have been psycho, but they were conservative psychos.
I don't know everything about this dude. I get it. He was the president. He deserves our respect, just like the old man
Malcolm
did.
X said something about roosting or chickens or roosting or something, I think. Anyways, hope your night is great, guys.
Prop Games, thank you for the $5 super chat. Very much appreciated.
Just like everyone that came before, okay? They are the president. Half the country, or enough of the country, voted for them. They are the president. You need to show them the respect. And if you don't like that, then, I mean, there's a lot of other countries in the world you can move to. I'm so sick and tired of people.
If you don't like it, just fucking move! I don't know. We're a democracy. We are actually allowed to disrespect the president. That's actually one of the benefits of being in a democracy. Believe it or not. It's wild. You know? But, say la vie.
people complaining about, oh, well, I hate America. It's like, then leave. Canada's right there. Mexico's right down there. There's keep going. There's South America. Go to Europe. Go to Africa. Go to Asia. Go to Australia. There's other continents. There's other countries. If you hate it so much, then don't stay here. And
I don't know. We have a democratic system for a reason. Like, no one's saying they hate being here. They hate the leadership we currently have. And the upside of our system is that we can change that.
then you see those people that they do move, and they're like, oh, this is hell. It's like, oh, well, no freaking kidding. But I mean, if this was such a terrible place, why are so many people fleeing to here? Can you answer me that? It doesn't.
It's because it's the closest place with economic opportunity.
So she's a
'cause we
huge
fucked
Star
over
Wars
every those
fan,
other
but like
places.
only surface level? Like, how do you have taught much merch and make Star Wars content but don't see the politics explicitly in the media? Media literacy is dead.
Well, Lily loves stuff. That's true. I think we need a lot more emphasis on media literacy because Star Wars has never been just haha, funny white armor guys miss and then die. Like, it's explicitly political. Like, George Lucas made it about like the Vietnam War on purpose. But you know, again, these kids would be really angry about what you're saying, but you know, they can't read.
Makes sense. So this is why I'm just saying it's gotten bad enough to where even I'm driven to talk about this. And I never thought I would be driven to this point, but this past week and a half, it's just, I've hit my limit. I really have. And it started with the Irina girl where she just got off work. She was in her like pizza place uniform. She just got on a bus, was minding her own business on her phone. She escaped from the Ukraine to come to America because it's safer than being in a war zone. She just got...
That's a pretty low bar though. Just as an FYI, like a place safer than an active war zone is that's a low bar.
On a bus and got on her phone and was just sitting there minding her own business, and some psychopath who had been arrested 14 times previously just started tweaking out and just stabbed her 3 times, and no one did anything. And there's no news about it. There's no outrage. People lost their minds over a Sydney Sweeney jeans commercial.
Okay, because people, and this might sound weird, people get stabbed in this country every day. People get stabbed in this country all the time. Was that tragic, like, murder, like, awful? Yeah. But awful things happen all the time everywhere. You have a finite amount of time on this planet. You could fill up every second of it learning about every stabbing that occurs in this country on a daily basis. You know? But the issue here is that there's a reason someone's talking about Sydney Sweeney's jeans, and that's because it's a national ad campaign. So a bunch of people are seeing it, a bunch of people are talking about it. And part of the reason we don't see a ton of discussion about a knifing is because knifings are common. Sadly, too common. It'd be great if knifings and like murders like that were rarer, but they're not. That girl deserves all the sympathy, all of the empathy. You know? And yeah, Irina didn't deserve that. Neither do any of the people who get stabbed by random assailants. Or any assailant, really. Like, but the formulation that, oh, no one is talking about it because people just don't care about knife murders, that's just not true. Like, people care about that, but like, do I need to be aware of every stabbing that takes place in every city across the country? No. No, I don't. I don't need to know about every knifing incident in New York City. I don't need to know about every knifing incident in LA. I don't even need to know about every knifing incident in, like, a town, 3 hours to the west of me. Like, I don't need to know those things because they're not relevant to me in my current area. Now, you can make a bunch of comments maybe about how, like, the case was handled or the systemic issues that led to the stabbing, and, like, I'm all here for that kind of analysis, but it seems like a lot of conservative folks are talking about this stabbing as if it is a deliberate, willful ignoring on the part of, like, liberals and left-leaning folks across the spectrum, like, and it's just not. Like, people just aren't aware of it, and when they are made aware of it, they're like, oh my gosh, that's awful, that's horrible. So it's not because, like, people on the left don't care about knifing. That's nuts. The wild formulation.
That was all over my timeline. For weeks, it felt like. People were more upset over a fucking...
For weeks, it felt like. Might have felt like weeks. It was not that long. It was like 3 days, tops.
jeans commercial than this poor innocent girl getting murdered on a bus.
Also, I'm pretty sure the Sydney Sweeney thing didn't happen at the same... Like, wasn't that like a month ago? And the Irina stabbing was like last week?
I lived in San Francisco for years. I've been around crazies like that. I never want to take public transportation again. My husband's all about it. Sometimes he's like, oh yeah, let's try taking the train. I'm like, no, I did my time. The only time I will take public transportation is on a plane because I'm not a gazillionaire. I can't afford a private plane or a private jet. So that's the limit to me taking that kind of stuff. Like, no. And especially after watching that video, I've been...
Man, like, when you've hit the point where you're too afraid to fly in, like, a normal plane, you're pretty cooked. Also, public transit is safer than flying in planes, generally speaking.
In situations back when I lived in San Francisco where I had to face off crazy people. I'm lucky that I lived. I saw that video and it hit me. I couldn't sleep because I was remembering shit that I had been through when I was in college in San Francisco, when I was a teenager, and that shit happened to me. And I don't wish that upon anyone. And I watched that video and I was like, that could have been me. And my heart went out to her because no one helped her. So first I'm seeing this girl get brutally murdered and no one help her until it's too late. And then now I'm seeing this other guy who's just talking. He's just having open debates.
Yeah, like the video of the Irina stabbing, I would love for someone to break down kind of the psychology of what happened in that video. Because it is weird that, like, he stabs her many times and then, like, just kind of walks away. And, like, the other people don't, like, do anything about it? Really? And I don't know if they just didn't know what was happening or if they were scared of the guy that they just saw suddenly, without provocation, stab someone to death. Like, is that shock? Is that trying to ready to defend themselves? Like, I don't know that it all breaks down to a bystander effect, guys. But I would like someone who knows more about that than me to talk about it.
Conversations with people. You don't have to like what he's saying.
Yeah, like there are a number. My understanding is that like there are a number of responses to like a traumatic event, and it can be like, you know, fight, flight, freeze, and then there are like shades of gray in other capacities. But like